Okay, guys, we are live! So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly, what am I going to be today? I guess I'll be your friendly case handler, because today we are playing a very special one-shot of Modiphius Entertainment's outstanding Achtung Cthulhu. I'll use my Exarch edition here. Which is one of the games released in their 2d20 line. It's one of my favorites, if not probably my favorite version of the 2d20 rules. We are using it rather than for the World War II era that it's written for. We're going to be setting our tale in Berlin in 1975. And with me today for this Cold War tale that we're calling The Shade of the Wall are three conscripts, I guess, who will be playing American soldiers living and working in Berlin. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing today? First up, we've got Darren.
Yep, Darren here. I'm playing the charismatic Private Wells.
Very nice. Next up is David.
Hi everyone, I'm David, and I'll be playing Private Evan Marshall.
Nice. And last, but certainly not least, is Jeffrey.
Everybody, I'm Jeff, and I'm playing Private David Walker.
Nice. Now, so apologies for folks who, we are starting a little bit late today because we were just talking about some aspects of the rules. One thing to bear in mind, now, you know what, we're going to jump right in here. So, we talked a little bit before we went in about the setting. Let's dive right into our session. So, guys, our scene will open. Grab these. Gates of Spandau Prison. Year is 1975. Oops, and I grabbed too many things here. There we go. That's all I need. Now, Spandau Prison, while not originally built for the purpose, was, after World War II, used to house high-level Nazis. By 1975, it was down to having a single occupant. But there were still both American and, well, I should say Allied and NATO troops and Soviet troops that occupied or served as guards. I think I've got a pretty good picture. Well, here is, I will show you, this is the Berlin Brigade, or Berlin Brigade as the Amerikaners would say. These are the American troops who have been stationed in Berlin since 1945. This is the part of the unit that you guys are members of. I have the soldier picture. I found a great photograph of the shift change where the Soviets and Americans would trade off. And load it. Nerds. But what we'd see in our film version of our campaign is that among the American soldiers, very ritualistically kind of walking forward. Have you ever seen this sort of like shift change that occurs at the North Korea-South Korea border where there's all this hoopla of them showing up? It's very much what happens at the shift change at Spandau Prison as well, too. Each of you is, the one thing is, Evan, you're likely more clean-shaven than you are depicted in the photograph we've got, but I had a choice between a picture of Donald Sutherland where he's actually in a military uniform, or with a little bit of growth, or a couple of clean-shaven things where he has really long hair. And there's no way that would fly in the military, so... Also, Donald Sutherland in 1975 may be the coolest guy in photographs. If you want to look those up, they are incredibly diverse. But we see that there is the shift change, and then it is the Americans trading off for the Soviets. or at least there's the shift change. So I actually don't know, and I couldn't find the answer to whether both stayed on simultaneously or whether there was a shift change for the Americans trading off for more Americans and then they came in. We'll assume it's going to be the former, where there was a trade-off and the Americans are coming off duty at this point, which, or at the very least, our heroes are. Now, guys, Berlin in 1975 has, at least West Berlin, has many characteristics. I'm going to show you a map we've got of Berlin. Now, just to give you an idea of where stuff is, no stamping. Yep. Spandau Prison is, surprisingly, located in Spandau, in the Spandau district or neighborhood, or I don't know what the nomenclature is for it. Where you guys are stationed, there are 4 American bases, all located between these two neighborhoods here. I will not offend any German listeners or viewers by trying to pronounce the names, because my German is not great. You happen to be staying at the McNair barracks. The McNair barracks are one of the 4, and the entrance to McNair barracks are like big white, kind of like apartment block style buildings. If you are part of a family, you actually can get housing outside the barracks, where there's a neighborhood that was built to honestly look like an American neighborhood. Great big lawns, wide backyards, big driveways, a very different kind of living. It's almost like a little slice of 60s Americana in the middle of Berlin. One of the things you will notice as well about our map of Berlin is something running all the way across the side there. Now, this, of course, is the iconic, I think I've got it in here. Yes, the Berlin Wall. This is, oh gosh, I didn't write it down. Let's see here, can I? I want to say Kreuztag, but I think that might be wrong. There. Oh, you know what? It's the name of the. Hold on, I've got it written down here.
Kreuzberg?
Kreuzberg, thank you. Yes. Kreuzberg is a neighborhood that in 1975, the neighborhood has always been located quite near a pretty important part of, at least for the Cold War era, Checkpoint Charlie, one of the iconic crossings of the Berlin Wall, and basically where most foreigners have to make their regular crossing. That is gonna look. Load it? Sure, I did. Oh, that's nighttime. There we go. I did find contemporary photographs of this part of Berlin. Here we go, guys. The iconic Checkpoint Charlie. Our foreigners are crossing over back and forth from East Berlin to West Berlin. You will have, if you've seen any kind, like, The Spy Who Came In From the Cold, or the Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, or Atomic Blonde, you've seen this particular crossing. I mention that because Kreuzberg is also, at this time, a hub of counterculture nightlife. There is an iconic punk club that will become a hangout for Bowie and Iggy Pop in a year's time. Disco is a very big thing in Berlin, West Berlin at this time. And punk is growing into a thing. So this neighborhood is basically like the coolest nightlife place to be in Berlin. And if you happen to be an American serviceman on duty here, where you've been working and you happen to enjoy something beyond you want to enjoy some of the more vibrant nightlife, that would be a great place to hang out. Now, I am going to guess that among our four, the one we have to thank for the plans that you guys have tonight in the Kreuzberg district is Mason. Does that sound correct to you guys?
Definitely.
Okay. And you also have 3 fortune points as well for today's session. You can see in one of our handouts what they do. So, where our scene opens is with you guys. I wanted to give you... Oh, here, I'll give you 2 other little looks here. Here's another... What's the taste of the Kreuzberg as well in the 70s. And... this is East Berlin in the 1970s. And hence the Ladas, I guess. I think that's all my... Yeah, this, I believe... This is one where I couldn't find... I think this is West Berlin. It is 1975, but I couldn't tell you where in Berlin it is. So, you guys are getting off shift. It's a couple of hours until the end. You will have an approved absence, or you're supposed to at least, for this evening, and that's going to be really of great value. I think you guys will appreciate that, and it's 3 important reasons for why you're going to want to have that evening off and be able to leave the barracks and go out. Those 3 reasons, of course, are Vicky, Carla, and Annalisa. So, as our 3 soldiers are getting off shift, you guys will be... And this is another thing where I genuinely don't know. I think they take public transport in Berlin to get back. I don't think it's a thing. And the reason I think that is because of a fucking song from the 80s called Metro that talks about seeing American soldiers on the Metro in Berlin. So I honestly don't know if that's the case, but for today, we're going to assume that's what's happening. So this gives you guys an opportunity. You will be changing out of your uniforms, and you'll be having your street clothes and ready to head off back to McNeil Barracks. In this scene of you guys leaving, let's take a moment just to meet our 3. So what is the mood, do you think, as you guys are all leaving together? And I think you also can assume that the 3 of you are sort of the thick as thieves type, who keep yourself separate from... Well, here, let's do this, actually. Why don't you tell each other a little bit about you, like how you came to be here, how you guys came to be friends. Jeff, you're going to have the most leeway on this because I've given very little backstory to good David. Darren, you want to start with Mason?
Can do. Yeah, he's, as I said, he's very charismatic. So he's a bit of a good-looking guy, a bit of a charmer. He's one for the ladies. You know, he's not tied down in any way, and quite happy about that. So yeah, always looking for the ladies, always giving a wink and a smile.
How's it feel about being a soldier? This is December, first week of December 1975, by the by. So the Vietnam War is actually officially over. It has been for 6 months now.
Yeah, he likes being involved, and he likes the sort of friendship and the glory of it, but he don't like the dirty work. He don't like getting his hands dirty unless he has to. So, you know, he likes to be there at the end, but he don't like to be doing all the trench work, if you want to call it that. But so yeah, he's a glory boy. You know, he likes to be the face on the pictures, and yeah, always be the one taking the credit. So yeah, that's how he plays it most of the time.
David, why don't you tell us about Evan?
I think Private Marshall was a slightly later arrival. He had other plans which were changed sort of last minute, and I think he's slightly ill at ease, still sort of adjusting to being a soldier, having come from an Ivy League university background, massively pissing off his parents with this last minute change of plans. And I think he's also ill at ease because initially he didn't want to be here. He was hoping to sort of do the right thing, whatever that means, in actually like a fighting zone, but his parents pulled strings and got him posted to a safe location. So he's sort of slightly like he has to prove himself, and he knows that maybe some people know that his parents are well connected and that he got posted here to not actually be on the front line and all of that. So I think he's always has a bit of a chip on his shoulder about where he is and eager to prove himself.
Okay. And what about Walker?
Yeah, I think that Dave is, his father was in the military and probably still is in his, some kind of, ranked soldier at this point, or officer, and so he's grown up in the military his whole life, so he knows all the rules and all the the way things go. So he's by the book on the face of things, and sort of always got his shoes tied right and his uniform correct, and he's always on time, very punctual, and like to all the superiors he looks like the perfect soldier. But I think like sort of behind the scenes and to his friends, he's sort of always trying to get away with any little thing that he can that sort of like breaks the rules. Like he's almost like you'd think almost like a bit of a prankster, or a bit of a like, as soon as the officer's not looking, it's like, hey guys, let's get an extra ration, or let's, sneak behind the building here and have a smoke, or whatever it is. That's just sort of the bad boy things, but he's very good at sort of just doing it all. So to the higher ups think he's a great soldier, and all the guys that he pals around with just knows him as a sort of a bit of a rule breaker. Nothing major, nothing, big trouble, but
so
he's loose.
Life in Berlin is going to be a little different for everyone here. I mean, there's black marketeers and things like that Mason may have fallen in with. There's all sorts of really exciting, insufferable students wanting to talk politics and things like that. And this is right in the era of the Red October faction, or no, what is it called? The Red Faction. What's the word? The terror organization I'm thinking of? What is it?
Yeah, Red October.
Red October?
Well, just the red. Yeah, I feel like I should know this.
Is it Red Army faction? No. What's it called? Oh gosh, sorry, I had it written down on other paper, but a second here.
Yes, Rote Army. Yeah, Red Army faction, I think would be there.
Yeah, RAF, the Red Army faction.
Yep.
So that is there is a what do you call it? A like revolutionary terror organization that's been active in the last 5 years in here too. So it's just something to be mindful of. They certainly target Americans, and they target industrialists quite a bit. One of the things that is a fomenting thing in Germany in the 60s is the generation of people who are growing into their college years and grappling with the fact that many of their parents were involved with the Nazi regime, or otherwise the German government in the 1940s. And at that point, there hadn't been like a public kind of reckoning with that history, and that's part of the massive cultural response to sort of the conservative culture in Germany. And there's been this Red Army faction is part of a wave of kind of international terror. Red Army faction has allegiances with Palestinian organizations and other terror organizations from around the world, or freedom fighter organizations, depending on how you view it. but that's something that is also part of life in here. And Private Walker, it would also be a different environment. Berlin, for a black man in the 1970s, is going to be a dramatically different place than almost anywhere in the U.S. in the 1960s, 1970s too. So that likewise will be a different experience for you. So as we see our guys coming off, what is sort of the mood like for going out? And I guess we're going to meet Vicky, Carla, and Annalisa in a moment. But who is it who met these girls in the first place, and what are your respective feelings being set up with this trio of German Frauleins?
I think it's clear that Private Wells would have sorted this out.
Okay.
He don't need wingmen, but he feels sorry for the guys, so he's managed to set this up. Obviously, he's chosen his favourite, and then he'll leave the other two ladies for Marshall and Walker to fight it out amongst themselves. But he's very chipper, happy.
I don't think that Marshall or Walker have met these other two either, as of yet.
No.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
I'm always up for an adventure, so.
Yeah. I think it's really a recurring theme of Mason coming, guys, I met this, and then like, what's her name?
Great idea.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get to some dice rolling here and see if we can't get some momentum going for you guys. I'd like you to each give us I think it is insight and observation roll, please. You're starting with 2 dice. You guys can give me some threat if you wish to add any extra dice to it. The difficulty of this is going to be a 2.
Okay, so to be clear, we click on insight.
Yep. And if
We
you
give
have,
you a dice if we want.
you can give me you can give me 1 threat for 1 dice, 3 threat for 2 dice, or 6 threat for 3 dice. Also, make sure you check and see if you've got a focus on any of them. So I think Mason has one.
I've got instincts. Would that be?
Yes.
Oh, what is a focus? Is that the bonus damage thing? No.
No. It's on the bottom of your character sheet. There's a skills. If you've got a box tick, that means there's a focus. If that focus applies, then any number you roll equal to that or less counts as 2 successes, not just a 1.
Oh, okay. I see down there.
Yeah. I think I've got it listed on my.
The ranks is the number or below, is it? If you got like rank 4, if you get a 4 or lower.
Yeah, that's if you have a focus. Otherwise, all it does is you add your stat to that. You make the d20
Okay, well, I'm going to give you a threat, Kev.
Okay.
For an extra dice.
Love it. Okay.
Relevant skill, done.
I'm just.
The relevant skill, that would be if you had the focus?
No. Relevant skill, you're always going to add, but you got to add select observation.
Right.
And then it'll ask you if a focus applies. And I don't think this is sight-based thing. I think Evan might have, or someone might have someone has a hearing-related thing, but that's not going to apply here.
Okay.
So does the instincts apply then with the observation?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I think I did it all right.
Okay. So Walker, and the difficulty was 2 on this. So.
Oh, I'll put it as 1. I mean, got fouled in it.
Okay, so let's see here. Oh, that's interesting. If you hover over the show details, it shows everything.
Oh, wow.
That is cool. Huh. So for those listening at home, these are first time we've used these sheets. In some ways they're very, very good, but there's a pretty big oversight because they don't have any of the threat dice. You have no way of rolling d6s on this, which is hopefully something they can fix relatively easily. All right, so we got 2 successes from Walker. We have 1 and none. Oh, and a complication for Wells. Wells, are you accepting a complication, or are you just giving me 1 threat or 2 threat?
I think I'll just give you the threat for now.
Okay, sounds good.
He's a little bit blasé, I should imagine.
Oh, and you want to make things interesting for later on. All right, so what happens is as you guys come out, Walker, what you can see... Oh, and you got 1 momentum as well. Oh, no, it's only 2 successes. Ignore me.
Yep.
Ignore me.
Yeah.
Okay, so Walker, you come out. Wells is maybe going on about whichever one. I'll put the pictures of the 3, and Wells can tell you which of the 3 that he has in mind. But he seems to be talking about her and talking up these other 2 women as well as like super cool. You guys are going to have a great time tonight. There is a place called the Paris Lounge that you were going to tonight. It's not quite a disco, and it's not quite a pub club. It's something a little more artsy focused, but definitely cool. Lots of booze, lots of dancing. It'll be a fucking fantastic time. Walker, you're half listening to this, but as you guys, and let's go back to Spandau Prison here too. It's a phrase you never want to hear, right? Hey.
I don't know. It actually looks kind of beautiful.
It has been razed to the ground and become a shopping center for American troops because they did not want it to become a site of pilgrimage for neo-Nazis.
Yeah.
So anyway, you guys leave, and what you can see is so I was trying to situate where this gate is, and I think we're looking right here, right? Like
Just in front of that, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's right here is what we're looking at. So as you're coming out, there's in the film Wild Geese 2, it involves Spandau Prison as a point. It's a fucking terrible film, but it's shot in almost contemporary to where this is set, and it shows Spandau Prison in great detail around there. So there are people, like, this is a normal neighborhood otherwise. People are going about their their lives, they're walking their dogs, they're taking their kids out, they're driving off to work or coming home from work. So there's nothing really, once you get away from the prison itself, there's nothing that is necessarily industrial or desolate or whatnot here. But as you come out, Walker, what you notice is there is a van that is parked that you managed to spot. Someone is lurking within there, and you're fairly certain you saw a telephoto lens that was one of the the kind of windows where you can kind of turn them to the side so they're they give you some airflow. They've turned it to the side, and someone had a telephoto lens at there that was taking photos, and it seemed to be, maybe it's just your paranoia talking, but they seem to be taking photos of you. So Wells and Marshall are talking about this. You guys are going to have to head to the metro. And
can I attempt to see if I can see the license plate on the
yeah,
vehicle?
you don't need to roll for that. You absolutely can see the license plate.
Yeah, so he takes note of it.
Okay.
You don't have to say what it is. Just he's.
Well, that's good because
it's
a German license plate, which means it's going to be it'll take us into next week. We had our morning session of Savage Worlds. We had 1 minute to spare for before they got a new hero point or a new Benny. So I talked for a minute straight, talking about how great it would be if they could get a Benny so it would roll over in time. That would be the same thing with this license plate. So
yeah.
Okay, so as you make note of that, is there anything else you guys wish to do, or Walker, do you say anything to anybody before you guys head to the metro?
No, I don't think he points it out.
Okay. So you take note of that?
Yeah.
Wells, what are you saying to everybody?
I'm just bigging up the night. Cheap beer, dancing. My lady don't speak too much English, so we won't be doing too much talking. You know what I mean, boys? So we can cut to you guys arriving at McNeil Barracks. You know the Marine who is guarding the gate. I don't know if the Army would have a Marine guarding the gate, but I know that the Marines guard embassies, so it's probably a soldier, actually, right? It's probably a guy from the Army. So it's probably an Army guy who salutes you as you guys come in, and you guys head into the barracks. Anything that you guys wish to do between now
And did I lose? You know what? I had the wrong thing here. Hold on. I should have. Nope, not plus 12. Plus 3. I have 12 threat right now. Is that right? Let's make sure I'm not cheating. No, I should have 9 threat. Madison, come on, man.
You got some from me, didn't you?
I got 9 from... Yeah, I got 9 to start with, and I got 2 from you. I should have 11. Why the heck do I have 9?
I gave you 1.
Well, you gave me 1 too. Right, there we go. I got 12, so it was right. I don't know why the token changed. That's weird. Okay. So, as you guys are heading in, anything we didn't know or see? Oh, let me introduce you to our ladies here as well, and then you guys can make a call. Here we go. We have we are this is Vicky. Nope, not Kuj-ku. And we have Carla. And we have Lisa. See, here we go. Good. So these are the 3 you're expecting to meet at the Paris Lounge this evening. Among our 3 soldiers, do you have? Is anyone? I imagine Wells has his city clothes ready to go. But what about Marshall and Walker? You guys feel you're gonna be dressing in, to be able to blend well in it, or do you think you'll stand out a bit with your civilian clothes?
Oh no, I think I've got probably some fashionable clothes for the time and the place.
Cam?
Some cool outfit.
I think Marshall will probably stick out a bit because he'll have some sort of Ivy League preppy. It's slightly at odds with both the soldier background and the sort of counterculture punk disco vibe of Berlin of the time.
Yeah.
He'll be well dressed, just slightly not fitting in with any of the 2 groups.
Seeing him on a metro with him sitting next to a Mohawk punk, So with one bit of news that does, unfortunately, so these are the 3 ladies that you are going to be meeting. Wells, who is it that you have met with? Who's the one you met on one of the outings?
I think it'd have just been Vicky. Would have just lighting a fag or something, it's can I borrow a light, or let me light your cigarette for you, and it started off like that. And
what is how many times do you think he and Vicky have been out and about?
I'd say only a couple, and this is the third time, and she's agreed to bring a couple of friends along this time.
Yeah.
So
what's been his impression of Vicky so far? What is it that makes him interested in her?
She's obviously got a thing for Americans. She likes the Americans. She seems quite down to earth, got a good sense of humor. She's a party goer, so happy to drink all night, dance away the night. So yeah, that's what he's up for.
All right. So guys, you will then be a little disappointed when you hear that there will be a base lockdown tonight.
Oh man, what?
I'll put them on the other side of this barrier because word has come down that there is some kind of security thing. You guys are going to be locked down in the base unless you can find some way to get yourself out.
Oh, we can find a way out of here.
So we can maybe pick up a scene of maybe I think Marshall, correct me if I'm wrong here, David, but I think Marshall is probably the one who is least likely to be in the know of this. And you hear kind of a banging on the door. And is it Wells, Walker, or both that are here to tell him, like, oh my God?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff, but I think we'd have got together and we got to sort this out.
Yeah, totally.
We're going out. And we're dragging Marshall with us if we have to. Let's give him the good news.
Yeah. It just turned into an even better adventure.
Yeah.
Because now we got to sneak out of here to go meet with them.
Okay. So then, guys, what is... let's play out that scene. What is Marshall doing? What do we find him doing in his quarters when he gets the knock on the door?
He'll probably be in the final stages of getting ready, and I imagine if we're going to sort of artsy
three,
place,
pressed white shirts set across the bed, going like, which of these am I gonna?
No, he's probably been distracted by one of his. He's managed to get some books, some of his history books, and sort of probably some sort of poetry volumes he has picked up and hearing at. He's probably going like, better brush up on some German poetry to impress the ladies tonight. And so he's probably just flicking through one of these, and when he hears the knock, he's like, yes, 2 seconds.
Okay. So then when the door opens, you find both Walker and Wells there, and what would you describe, guys, as the looks on their faces?
I think Wells will have like a cheeky grin, looking for mischief. He's starting to think of ideas. How are we going to get out of this place? This is going to be good fun. We're going to get one over on the officers, one way or the other.
Yeah, this is definitely exciting. Yeah, I think they look excited by this, actually.
Okay. So they're a little bit early. Marshall, did you really lose track of time reading that book? It's still light outside,
Yeah. I think Marshall's respond. He'll sort of look up, put the book away, and go like, "I'm
Mason,
coming.
you're not ready yet?"
Let's go. I'm ready. I'm ready. And puts the book away. And
did you hear what's going on?
No.
The base
What's
is on
going on?
lockdown.
Oh, mother, what? Why?
Oh, no idea. I hope you're ready for an adventure.
Well, not if we're on lockdown.
Oh, we're still going, man.
We've left before the lockdown takes place. What are we to know?
I assume you both have a plan, judging by those smirks on your faces.
Of course.
Yeah, we're sort of sorry. I've got Garcia to cover for me, and I'm sure he'll put in a good word if anything comes up about you.
So what we could do now, guys, is we can think of this as transitioning to a montage. Because what we're going to do is to escape from here. I mean, I say escape as if it's a prison, but let's do this here. I'm going to put a bar on our guard here. So one of the ways that the game, we've talked a bit before we started about the challenges in this. So what a challenge is basically, it's like it's very similar to a skill challenge in like D&D or some other games we've played. What this is going to be, let's see here. I think you guys can see that bar in the bottom is 0 out of 5.
Yes.
Okay. So the way challenges are done is each of you gets a turn to try and describe something you're doing in the narrative to move towards progressing it. This is a very short one. We just need to get you guys out of the base. If what you narratively describe makes sense as something that might advance your goal of getting out of here, then you will, I believe it's, I'm just going to check here. I think it's four effect dice, plus there may be modifiers depending on the governing attributes. We subtract the resistance from it, and then we apply that as basically damage to the track, as effect to the track. Once you fill the track, you need to get a certain number of what is the word they use? It is not momentum. It is the magnitude. That was an M word. Nixon necktie. The M, the magnitude. Once you get a number of what do they call them? Resolutions, I think, of them. So for those listening at home, my apologies for making an absolute hash of the rules for the game. Breakthroughs, that is what you need to do. Each breakthrough, you need a number of breakthroughs equal to the magnitude. You get a breakthrough by either inflicting 5 points of effect on something, or by exceeding the work track there, the 5, and then inflicting more damage or more effect onto it. This will make sense once we go through the first skill pass. The way we're setting this up, it is a work track of 5, so it's going to be relatively easy to complete. It has a magnitude of 1. I think it's going to be relatively easy for you guys to get out of here. However, the resistance, because it is a military base that is in lockdown, the resistance is going to be a 4. Which means it's going to be a fairly challenging one to get out of and may require you to be creative. Now, one of the things you can do, though, is if you guys, when you succeed on a task, you can always spend 2 momentum, or you can give you 2 threat and do this to create a truth. Right now, the truth that is present here is that you're in lockdown. If you can spend 2 momentum to negate a truth or to temporarily resolve it. We need to figure out what that makes sense of narratively, but if you get rid of that, if you're able to somehow negate the lockdown, that'll reduce the resistance to a 2. So a couple of ways to do this. Slow and steady, of slowly trying to make your way towards that, or deal with the lockdown issue and then just try and get as many successes as you can. So the truth is, let me put this down here. I think I can actually, relatively easy now. Let's see here. Maybe it's a little larger. Oh, shit, fuck. Hold on. Ah, ha, ha. You son of a bitch. Ugh. Never easy. What are you doing? There we go.
So we can sort of try and wear down the task, or we can try and like overwhelm it and sort of break through it in one one move.
Well, in several moves. Like, you can take as many passes. The thing is that if you roll any complications, then those may be things that make things, they may be more significant setbacks. Okay, so let's talk about this. That's the very muddled description of the game mechanics. Let's take a step back and just think about the fiction. So what do you guys think you would do to try and get out? Is there a scheme? You waiting for the dark? Trying to sneak? Are you trying to convince people? Do you have some other thing to, like, you know, you might use your kind of, what is it? Not bodging, whatever the skill is. Ooh, bad form game master screen for a skill-based game to not have a fucking skill list on it. Engineering, for instance, if you could use to maybe sabotage something. So what are you guys thinking? What do you think that your characters would do? And definitely take a look at your talents and see if there's anything that might assist you with that to make things easier. Once anyone has an idea, we can talk about how to put game effect to it. The difficulty of this... Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, my first idea is that there would be other guys here on the base or other soldiers that maybe Dave's got something on them. You know, he's got them. You know, probably something he participated in, but, you know, like helped them bring drugs onto the base, or a time when he helped them sneak out or sneak a girlfriend in for the night, or, you know, he's got quite a few. He's got a little book of sort of like, well, who owes me, right? And like, you know, who's on duty here, who's doing the, you know, taking the uniforms to the cleaners, or like some things that still might be happening even on like a level X lockdown. Like, oh well, they still gotta go do this. So like this crew will be leaving at 7 p.m. or whatever. It's like, we got to get on that crew, or, you know, like that kind of strategy that he would be pulling.
That to me sounds like it is persuasion, you think?
Yeah, or potentially intimidation, depending on like if he's sort of like nicely.
Take a look at your skill list. There is no such thing as persuasion.
Oh, sorry.
Intimidation is a focus of it.
Right. Sorry. Yeah.
Are you trained in intimidation, or do you have a...
Yeah, I have a focus in intimidation. That's what I was
so
saying.
If you want to pressure the guys, I would definitely agree with that. And I think that is, because it's intimidation you're using, that's probably will and persuasion with the insight. So if you can start setting up that skill.
Yeah.
So will plus persuasion with the focus for intimidation. Do you wish to give me any... There's no momentum in the pool yet. So do you wish to give me some threat?
Yeah, let's give you some threat.
How much am I getting?
Let's try and get this thing rolling real strong. So I can give you up to I'll give you 3, right? 1 for one dice and 2 for another. Is that
That's
how
correct.
It works?
Yep.
So I go up to 4 dice for that.
Okay.
Because I will get 1 for the intimidation. Is that correct?
No. You click on that. That is a focus. So what that means is, because a focus applies, if you roll a number on any of the d20s equal to the rank of the skill or less, that counts as a critical success.
Okay.
Not just the 1.
Yeah. Okay. So submit. Relevant skill is persuasion. I have a focus that applies. Yes.
And difficulty is a 1.
Difficulty 1. Here we go. Oh my goodness! Not a single success.
Oh my! Now let's talk about fortune.
Wow!
Because I believe fortune can allow you to re-roll. Let's see. Ouch.
That might be worth it.
Fortune
Is there
spends.
a handout for the fortune spends?
A fortune point may be spent to re-roll any number of dice in the character's dice pool.
Yeah.
So you have.
Do we have 3 fortune as a group, or do we each have 3 fortune
each?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll spend one of mine to re-roll that.
And I didn't put it on the. I should have. I couldn't get the sheet to sync up properly. But why don't I just do this, guys? Because we're used to using the green bars as narrative meta currency.
I'm doing it.
Can everyone see each other's green bars now?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So go ahead and adjust those when you spend them.
Oh yeah. Okay. So go down to 2 fortune.
And does anyone have a truth that would apply here for you, David? Let me take a look. I can't remember what yours are here. Okay. Yeah. I'm sure it's innocuous, the fact that we kept them secret.
Oh yeah.
No. I don't think either of those would apply.
No, I don't think so.
No, those deep dark secrets of yours. So if you wish to re-roll, go ahead and set up for the exact same roll.
Right, so I still get the bonus dice that I gave you the threat for? Yeah, okay, perfect.
Come on.
Persuasion. Come on, let's get a better roll 20. Yes!
Nice. Okay.
1 success, but a complication. Oh.
You want a complication, or are you just giving me threat?
What's the threat at?
That's at 15.
Oh, complication is like... Man, those are bad, right?
They would be bad right now, yeah.
Yeah, I know. We don't need a complication on this. Let's just build up the threat for later.
Okay. Then, so you got your 1 success, which means, what is your will?
My will is a 9.
Oh, +1. So would you roll 5d6 now, please? This is your result for this. Okay. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. But you got 2 effects, and I don't think you have any effects on here right now. Oof. So that truth is really, this is an example of where, because of that resistance is 4, it's just reducing your successes by 4. You rolled 1 success for the 5, 1 success for the second 5, and 2 for the, what do I got for the 2? 4 and 5, 3 and 4 don't count as anything. 4 points, you have no effects. An effect is like, piercing or something like that. Which means you go and ask these guys for, like, look, you got to fucking do this for me. And they're like, it's on lockdown, man. Like, we got nobody coming in. Were you crazy?
Right. Basically, yeah, his hope of, like, they're still doing something, like, wasn't true. They're like, no, man, laundry's not going out. Deliveries aren't coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shoot.
So Walker comes back. And like, this is a problem. Wells, Marshall, what are you guys thinking? Now, again, if you can get the address the truth of base and lockdown, that's either a challenge difficulty 2 thing, or spend 2 points from 2 momentum from a successful roll to address it. You can get rid of that truth or have it not apply to you. That would reduce the resistance down to a 1.
Are these lockdowns quite common?
Well, in the last 5 years, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Is there like alarms blaring and people rushing about, or is it just no one leaves the base? But
yeah, more
within the base, it's still more or less.
Yeah, more the latter. It's just a matter of, like, no one can come in, no one can go out, everyone gets screened very closely, that kind of stuff.
But we have free movement within the base and.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Do you have an idea?
I think Marshall would try to figure out, presumably it's like a chain of command that ends the lockdown at some stage.
Yep.
Do we know how long they normally last?
Well, this is just for the
hours,
evening.
Minute, just the evening. Or...
Yeah.
I mean, he'll probably turn to Wells and go like, well, if Walker's charms have failed, do you think you can do better, or do we just wait till it's dark and try and sneak out?
Yeah, he's thinking of his criminal background at this point. That's where he. So he's thinking. It's either set someone else up to take the fall, and while there's a distraction, we make our way, or sneaky sort of climb up on the roof, or some sort of sneaking about. It's not dark yet, is it? So
it can be whatever you like. This is we're sort of handling this in the abstract.
Okay. We could certainly use the darkness to our advantage. He's pretty desperate to get out, so I think he's going to try and set someone else up that he don't particularly like in the base.
Okay.
One of the other privates. I think he's going to try and like smash a window or do some sort of damage that's going to obviously draw the sort of guards who are ever on duty.
Okay.
Draw their attention, and while that attention's drawn, try and slip out the side door or something like that.
So what that means is
pull them away from there.
It does sound like you're drawing on your criminal mindset truth.
Yeah.
So that'll reduce the difficulty down to a 0. It means any successes you roll in this will just go directly to momentum.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So then, and how are you picturing this? Is this like?
So what I'm looking to do is use my instincts, my observation sort of skills. You know, if I target this room or this window that's closest to that guardhouse, which is where we need to get past, they're the most likely to respond quickest. If we're at this point at the time that it happens, then there's going to be a blind spot or something where we can dash across.
So I'm thinking insight and stealth is the combo here. What do you think?
Yeah. Okay.
What's your insight?
It's a 9.
Oh, nice. That'd be a +1 to the result too. So then, and do you have a stealth focus? That you
I haven't got any focuses on stealth.
Okay,
No.
so that doesn't apply. One thing you can also do is you can spend a fortune point to set one of your d20s to a 1.
I think I will. I'm going to try a critical success on.
Okay. So that means that right now you're only rolling 1 dice. Do you want to give me any threat to gain extra dice you can roll?
Yep.
How much am I getting?
We need to be rolling. I need to be rolling 3 dice.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to give you an extra
3.
Extra 3, aren't I?
You got it. Okay. I was jokingly going to set it to 50 for threat. Really should have thought of that before. All right, so then you're rolling. You got automatic. You got 2 successes, and then go ahead. The difficulty for this, and difficulty will be 0 now. So you're having 3 dice you're rolling. Your stealth focus. There we go. 3 successes on top of it. Holy smokes! So that is 5 successes total. Okay. So you can apply. There's all sorts of things you can do with your momentum too. You can add extra effect dice on a 1-for-1 basis. You can add a piercing result. You could spend 2 of that momentum to get rid of the base and lockdown thing applying to you.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that one.
Okay.
Get rid of the applying to us at least.
Okay. So for you guys, the base is not in lockdown any longer. You get 3 more momentum. That can be spent after you roll damage too. You can also, I believe, on a 1-for-1 add 1 point of momentum gives you 2 points of piercing. Let's see here. I might be thinking of Conan. Yeah, I'm thinking. Ignore me. I'm thinking of Conan.
I can put some momentum into the pool, though, can't I?
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll spend the 2. So basically, how I'm seeing it is we've got past the sort of lock point, so we're still in the base.
Well,
but
let's see
we've
what
got
your
past
effect is first here. You're gonna, so that the 3 is going to sit with you for now. Why don't you give us right now? You're rolling 5d6.
Okay.
For your effect. Let's see how that goes.
Ooh, nice.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's pretty fucking awesome. And because the base and lockdown is gone, the resistance is 2. Guys, you're getting out now. Oh, no, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. You got 5, but it hasn't gone over yet. Although you did inflict 5 on it, that's enough to put a breakthrough. What's it look like, Wells, as you guys get yourself out of the base?
Oh, he'll be doing a little dance almost as he sort of crosses the line, and then nervously looks back just to be on the safe side.
And
Come on, boys, we're out of here.
Fantastic. You were out for a night. Oh, and then you got 3 momentum left over, so you can dump that into the momentum pool if you like.
Yeah.
And did he actually smash a window? Was that his plan?
Yeah.
I think
I've tucked up
I can't believe he smashed that window, man.
He had it coming to him.
So you guys managed to get your way down the what do you call it? You sneak out of here and you start heading towards the Kreuzberg district. So you are going from around here and making your way all the way up here. What's the mood like as you guys are making your way to your rendezvous?
Well, Wells will be walking like twice as fast as he normally does. He's super keen to get there and G'ing him up to keep up. Let's make the most of it. We haven't broken out of there to waste time. Let's get there. Let's make the most of tonight.
Okay. Are
Better be worth
quite
it.
exuberant. Bit of adrenaline rush to get the evening started. And
Okay.
I think Marshall is quite glad he has someone like Wells to help with these things, because his background isn't quite like, smashing windows to get out of base. So he's like clapping on the back and going like, well done, man.
And then for Walker, how's he feeling?
I think he feels a little bit like Wells got the one up on him, right? Like he tried to get him out of there and it didn't work, and then Wells pulled it off. So it's like I'll have to find a way to show him up later tonight,
Yeah.
maybe in front of the ladies. That'll make up for it.
All right. So when let me see here. I'm going to spend a little bit of threat here. Set something up. Now, you guys are as you're making your way towards the Kreuzberg district, things are getting. You can find that the folks on the metro are a little more eclectic the closer you get towards there, and by the time you reach there, it's a fair amount of younger and definitely more vibrant people who are spilling out into the district. It's not like the whole place is full of people, but you're passing. If you think of like the idealized sort of New York street, where it's you're running in, you're crossing just an incredible variety of different people as you're moving by. That's sort of what I'm picturing this is like. You find the Paris Lounge, and it's nighttime. I've got all daytime things, and you make your way down. You are fortunately actually on time. And as you make your way into the lounge, I actually don't have a good illustration of a German 1970s club, unfortunately. Everything I found was like something relatively recent that was redone to look like the 70s, and that's not what we're looking for. But waiting in the busy lounge, and this is a darkened kind of nightclub type place, you can see that Vicky is at her table with her two Freundinnen. And when you walk in, she just sort of gestures, with her hand as if to say, like, over here. No exuberant jumping up to see you or anything like that, but... Wells, what is the introduction you give here?
Yeah, I'll lead the group over, and I'll just say, evening, ladies. Hope you're ready for a fun-filled night. Should we start off with some drinks?
She said, so they all look at one another. Vicky says something in German. Incidentally, Evan and Walker both speak German. Mason, you got Pidgin German, so you can kind of like, you can probably make an academics roll with reason to try and like fudge your way through stuff, but you're not great with it. And they both kind of nod, and Vicky waves over at the bartender, and it's actually a guy you know as well too, someone you've met here. His name is Lucas. And I think for the North Americans, I think we have likely only seen Udo Kier in his like the laterly years of his life, where he looks pretty troglodytic. So when I found 70s photos of Udo Kier, I'm like, holy shit! Like it's a very different look for him than I expected.
Yeah.
So then, what? He comes over and he's very, he's very happy to see you too, Wells or Mason. They bring drinks over, and how are Evan and Walker? I imagine, well, you guys, who is sitting next to whom here?
You want to go first, Walker? I think you're probably more of a man of
Wells
action.
has sat down by now too. The two of you are both kind of looking at one another and looking down and like,
Yeah.
Guys, sit down. Come on.
I think I would just sit in the the nearest seat. Like I don't think I would.
I think it's where we
necessarily.
are. Where I've got you guys. Evan is sitting next to Carla, and Walker is next to Annalise.
Yeah, probably. It's just like I don't know, a brash decision kind of. He wouldn't necessarily.
Yeah. So then I think what we're going to do, guys, is to reflect your evening out in Berlin, 1975. Is there anything substance-wise that is off the table for our heroes for tonight's party? Liquor is definitely going to be flowing. Is there anything else that you would be not willing to try? I mean, there's not like passing around heroin needles, but if there are pills or if there are joints that are being passed around, we want to figure out how much your resistance is that you're rolling against for this evening.
Yeah, I think that Walker probably seems like he's eager to take anything or have anything that's offered, but I think that he's like, if it's a pill, he's pocketing it. If it's a joint, he's not inhaling. If he's actually keeping himself pretty straight. He just but he doesn't say no to anything. He's like first one to say, "Oh, sure, yeah, give it over."
Okay. What about Marshall?
I think he'll draw the line at pills, but he's on the verse to a joint and obviously copious amounts of liquor.
Okay. And what about Wells?
I think we can safely assume that Mason is fully on board with whatever happens is going to happen, and he's trying to forget the fact that we got to go back to the base, and there's a chance that he might be strung up for being seen doing something. But so he's forgetting going back to the base. He's living the life for tonight.
All right. So give me a second. I'm trying to find the effective beat for here. Okay, so why don't you guys give us this will be either brawn or willpower, your choice, and resilience against a difficulty. Mason, your difficulty is going to be a 3. Evan, it's a 2. Walker, it's a 1. So either will or brawn and resilience. Let me see if there's any bonuses or any focuses that might apply.
I've got fortitude.
It's actually immunity is the one that you would need for this.
Okay.
Yeah. If anyone has immunity, that focus will apply.
I'm not going to go any threat for this one.
Okay.
And it's resilience, yeah.
Oh, Evan. Oh, Miles. Walker's doing pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So let me roll this here.
It's not his first time pretending to be more under the influence than he really is.
What is, Wells, what is your maximum stress?
Stress.
Is it 12?
12.
Yeah. So these aren't linked to the character sheets, unfortunately, but I'll put red bars for yours. Marshall, what is your max stress?
I think 9.
9, okay. And
where's stress?
Stress is on the left, kind of underneath, I think, where the stats are.
Second sort of box down on the left.
Under your personal
The
truth.
main character sheet.
Your personal truths.
Stress is in a green box, sort of.
Oh.
So
9.
the total
okay.
there. Yeah.
Total, yeah, I see it now. Yeah.
All right, so you will be able to play. I think it's only one of you guys that has armor, right? Who is that?
I've got 2 armor.
2 armor, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to justify a purchase here. And I think, oh boy, I got lots of threat. This is fantastic, guys. Holy smokes. I am gonna spend 1 to get piercing to this for Wells, and let's roll, and then I'll see how many extra dice I want to roll. All right, so that is 1, 2, 3. Let's. I think I can spend threat to re-roll, can't I? Roll damage, or is that?
I think you can.
Momentum spends. Where's threat spends? Man, I don't mean to criticize, but that GM screen, there's 2 fucking panels that are random encounter tables. The fuck are those doing on there? Not a great screen, guys. Not a great screen. Where am I here? Threat. No, not threat. Range number 6. Here we go. Okay, spending threat. Here we go. Yeah, spend 2. Let's do 5 threat on that. Oh, that's more like it. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Mason, take 8 stress, please.
Is that reduced by the armor, or is that just...
I spent 1 to make it piercing too, so you can ignore your armor.
8.
Then, Walker. Unfortunately, we get to roll 3 against you. You don't have any armor, right?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. 3 stress, please. And Evan, you got 0 successes.
Is that the boxes?
Yeah. Oh, you can just put on your token.
Oh, you added a thing.
I added a bar for you, yeah, with the maximum of what your max armor is.
Okay, yeah.
Ooh, Marshall. That's very low. I should spend some threat here. Let's get some. Let's leave 7 for me. A little 3 more. See how this does. There we go. Take 4 stress, please. So this is a... You can judge from that. None of you guys have hit the point where you're suffering injuries from it, but this is definitely a heck of an evening out. I think technically what I should have done is applied that as fatigue rather than stress, which what it does is it reduces your stress, so it makes it more likely that you're going to get an injury than anything. So you're all fairly... I guess this is catching up maybe like 3 hours into your evening, and Marshall and Walker, you're feeling pretty good. Mason, why don't you describe for us how you're feeling right now?
He's definitely putting on a brave face. He'll be, he won't be showing any signs of any sort of fatigue or sort of illness or anything, but underneath he's starting to feel it, and he's thinking, maybe shouldn't have had that with that drink and mix that with that, and he's a little bit of sort of dizziness occasionally, and he's styling it out by sort of standing somewhere and sort of getting his breath, and I don't know, just
I think while you're getting your breath, Vicky comes over to you with another drink, and it's like, you're not giving up on us now, are you?
Me, the night's young. No, of course not. And he'll take the drink, but he won't start slurping at it straight away.
All right. What I'd like you guys to do is please each give us a insight and observation roll again. You're all starting with 2, and you have 3 points of momentum in the pool right now. If anyone wishes to draw on that. Oh, and difficulty will be a 2 once again.
Is instincts in this one or not?
Yes. Instincts would apply in this one.
Okay.
I think I'll take a momentum
Okay.
for an extra die.
Just gonna see how it goes. 2. Oh,
Yeah, I'll use a momentum too.
Okay.
I'm feeling a little nervous from the spot in that van earlier.
Okay. So Walker has oh, hold on.
I know I'm just rolling it now. Difficulty 2,
yeah.
you said?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. So we have, let's see here. Wells, you have a complication. You want to take a complication, or would you like to give me threat once again?
thematically, it feels like he should have a complication, but I don't know if that's a good idea. But it's feeling like he should really. I feel like he's got himself into a bit of a dodgy situation. I think he might have to take one just because it seems right.
Okay. Let's see here. Find the samples for complication.
He's got 2 friends to bail him out after all.
So I think this is
the first time we helped drag you back to base.
yeah, for your complication. It's another point of stress. You're focusing, and it begins to have the room spinning. Let's see here. Evan succeeded, and Walker succeeded with 1 momentum. Do you want to? So momentum can be spent for extra information as well.
Oh.
What you can see is sitting across the bar. Both of you guys spot this. Trying to blend in is one of the realities of life in West Berlin is that the East Germans will send Stasi over, and they often can very easily be spotted by those who know how to look, in part because they look so clearly out of place. Their haircuts are just not the same. Their clothes are just not the same. And when they try and pass off in one way or the other, there's sometimes just shit looks a little off. This is the fella you see sitting across the bar who has been watching all of you guys. He's been doing a decent job of trying not to see. But this guy, Stasi, KGB, maybe intelligence agent in any event, seems to be keeping track of what's going on. He has those sunglasses on in the club. He's nursing a drink, leaning up against a bar, and he's the drink, you can tell he's barely touched for the entire evening. Now, you could spend the momentum to try and get additional information, or you could dump that back into the momentum pool. What do you think, Walker?
Yeah, let's we got 1 left. Yeah, let's try and get some information.
What do you want to know?
Is he alone?
Good question. You are sitting watching. Where do you think, or how do you think you're going about doing this? Are you just trying to be nonchalant and just trying to like track where his sunglasses are looking, or?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and also like probably like getting an angle on him, right? Like he's got an angle on our table, but you know, if he's trying to watch all 3 of us, it's like separate myself from the other 2, like side to side. So like, you know, when he's watching them, I can sort of see what he's doing, but I look like I'm just, you know, playing darts or pool or having a smoke or whatever I'm doing sort of away from them.
There is Stasi number 2. He is not alone.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
So, Do you think you tell one another? Like Marshall, you see someone is definitely watching the table. Walker, you seem to have clocked this as well too, but you don't necessarily both. You know that the others saw the other.
Right.
Yeah, I think we would share a look of sort of just between Walker on my side and Marshall. So if we both clock him, sort of looking around, just to indicate that we've spotted him to each other, and
Yeah, I think so. This time, I think I definitely would be like, yeah.
Okay. So you look at one another and you can see, and then Walker, we'll assume maybe you pick up your drink and then sort of gesture with your finger in another direction, and Marshall, you can look over and see there's the second guy clearly out of place in Paris Lounge.
would we be used to seeing these, not necessarily these two, but people like them around while out and about West Berlin? So it's not necessarily something super alarming.
Yeah, like from your perspective, it may very well be, the West German, especially. I really don't know the name of the West German, whatever the equivalent of the secret police is. I imagine there was one, but I just don't know what it is. Stasi is just a lot more prominent in in media than whatever the West German. So it could very well be them. Walker, you're absolutely, these are Stasi agents. These are East Germans or KGB sent over by East German operatives.
Yeah.
And there was always called that, but I think the current one is something very innocent, like Federal News Service.
Yeah.
Bundesnachrichtendienst.
The Germans definitely at times have a knack for understatement. So Annalise and Carlo are both very, everyone's still having a fucking grand old time too, so they don't seem. And then Wells comes back a little, drunk, and that's when Lucas comes over with the next round of drinks and insists on maybe schnapps, and then there's when that's passed around, a song comes on and everyone's getting up again and getting ready to dance, and you find that the one Walker is gone. The other, Mr. Shades, is still there, pretending not to watch you, but clearly watching you.
Right. Why would they be watching us? That's what I would probably say to my friends. Strange. Sure, we're American soldiers out on the town, but it's not worthy of, agents.
I mean, they could just be lurking around, and we just happen to be here.
I mean, we are the most interesting thing going on in this bar. Got that right.
Any further concern, or are you just...
Are we the only Americans or Allied soldiers in this place at the moment? Would there be others around?
Yeah, why don't you give us a... Let's see here. I think that'll be... Insight. Probably insight and observation. And I think... I assume you're just looking and not asking around? Or asking your waitress? Like, if you're better at persuasion, for instance, you might be able to just ask ask Lucas whether there's any other Americans in here.
No, I think Marshall would just look around, quick. I'll not even be very stealthy about it, just take a quick look around.
Yep. So it'd be I think insight, observation with this would be a sight.
Okay.
Focus if you've got it. You want to give any threat? Or there's actually 1 momentum right now.
No, I think I'll keep it.
Okay. Complication, or am I getting threat?
Complicated. I think I'll take the complication.
Okay. So you're looking around, and I think that you end up having to stand up a little bit to take a look around, and that's when Carla gets up, and kind of grabs you from behind, and you're like, "What the?" Distracts you, and she says, "You're looking for something. What are you looking for?"
I think everyone will steady himself for a moment, and then to try and diffuse, and not just with their spies, and not ruin the evening. He'll say something, just maybe for a place where we can be a little bit more private.
I'll show you something. And she takes your hand and takes you into kind of like a side. There's a corridor that you saw when you first came into the Paris Lounge, and she leads you off down there. Put you there for a moment.
Yep.
It is about maybe another 5 minutes or so. Walker, you've been talking to Annalisa and quite a great at length. Wells, Mason, you and Vicky have been continuing to enjoy Lucas's company. I think it's probably, tell me if I got this wrong, but it's probably Walker who is the first one to notice that Marshall's been gone a little bit. He and Carla got up. Carla's gone as well, too.
Yeah. I'd probably say something.
What do you say?
Hey, Wells. Where do you think Evan's gone to?
I don't know, the lucky bastard.
Vicky exchanges a bit of a knowing look with Lucas, and then looks over at Annalise, and she says, I think she showed him something. Annalisa, why don't you show David? And she looks and she says, would you like to see something?
I think he would go along.
Okay. So she takes your hand and leads you across the bar. You look over and you can see that, once again, Shades is trying his best to not be seen, but he's clearly following you. That leaves Wells alone at the table with Vicky and Lucas. She leans over and says something to Lucas, and he nods his head. And he gets up and heads back to the bar. And she looks at you, and she's just got that almost a look exactly like is in the photograph of just smoking a cigarette, looking like she's got a secret, but it's just, but friendly, in a playful kind of way.
How comes we're missing out on all the fun?
You want to see something?
Well, if it's good enough for them guys, it's definitely good enough for me.
She takes a drag on her cigarette. She looks back at Lucas at the bar. He seems to be looking down, like behind the bar at something, and then looks up at her, looks down again, looks at her, nods. And she says, okay, we see something. Puts her cigarette down, takes her hand, and brings you across the bar. You head down to a long corridor, and the corridor has that kind of like, reddish discotheque lighting in it. It's almost garish. There's music blaring as you're making your way down here. What was the song I sent you guys? It was, let's see here. I'm on fire. Yes,
yeah.
by 5,000 volts. That is playing, very loud above you. You're led down the corridor, and your head's swimming a little bit, Wells, but not so bad that you're not suffering from any injuries at this point. Although you should have, with it suffering 8 stress. I now realize that would have caused technically an injury for you. But I think you've done enough damage to your liver as it is over your lifespan. And the last thing you remember is reaching a door. It's curiously painted black. The whole thing with a single golden colored knob, although in here it has a garish reddish light to it because of or cast to it because of the light being cast from overhead. You open the door. You don't quite remember what you saw within. Walker, I think you were the first to wake up. Where am I going to put you guys? Let's go over here.
Hell are we?
Now, you were the first to come to. You can hear the sound of trains, the switching bell, or of them going by. Would you each go ahead and give us, let's see here, I think it's a will and resilience roll. Let me double check here. Sorry, I'm not familiar enough with the books to just know where I'm flipping to, guys. I do apologize. Where are you? Here we go. Action. This sounds like the right area. Yes, a will plus resilience, difficulty 2. Each success and any momentum you choose to spend will reduce your stress level by 1.
Oh.
Anyone giving me any threat to
Yes.
increase?
Yep.
How much am I getting?
I'll give you one.
1 each, okay?
Yeah, I'll go for 1 as well. I think. Do people object if I take the momentum?
No, go for it.
So you
feel
need to give
like
me
I
one
need to-
more than Wells. Because it's a momentum. What you're giving me threat for is to make a momentum spend. So first dice is 1 momentum. It must be 1 extra 1. Don't worry. I'm sure nothing will happen.
I get to roll 4 dice though, do I? Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Yep. Yep. And does fortitude come into this one?
Yes, it will.
Okay.
Brutal.
If one thing can be said for Wells, he takes a beating. Wow. Okay, so nice. So Marshall, you've got recover 2. Oh, but a complication.
What was the difficulty? 2, wasn't it?
Yeah, you're in kind of a bad state. I'm going to suggest we just dump any complication into threat for now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got 2 complication, gives me 4 more threat. Great. All right, so that's no difficulty. This is it's 2 to recover 1. Where's it here? Oh no, sorry. Success removes stress equal to your resilience score. So that's bit plus 1 for each momentum you spend on it. All right, so let's see here. Walker, that was a fail. Do you wish to spend a fortune point to re-roll?
No.
You're not too badly beaten up anyway.
No, I'm only mildly beat up.
And Wells, you've got what's your resilience?
Well, I've got a rank of 2.
That's what it is. Yeah, anytime I'm asking about
Yeah.
that, it's always the rank.
Yeah.
So you're going to recover 2 stress plus 1 from the momentum is 3 stress.
Cool.
Well, that momentum pool is down to 0 now. So, what happens as you wake, Walker, Marshall, and Wells, you were all tied to chairs. There is a small bit of light coming from a flickering light bulb that's set into the wall of a brick wall. You don't know quite where you are. What you can do, if you'd like, is... let's see here. An insight academia, an insight observation hearing, or an insight... No, I think those are the only 2 that probably apply. So you can make any of those rolls if you choose to, guys. Insight.
The history or occultism?
History would definitely apply here. Am I getting any threat for extra dice, guys? Difficulty is only a 1, by the way.
I'm going to just go for it.
Not from me, no.
Okay. Okay.
Look at that.
Look at that, guys. 1 success, so that's 1, 2 momentum. You can dump that into the momentum pool, and you could choose to spend that for additional information if you'd like. I don't think there's much more you can get from this. What all of you recognize, the sound, there is a very distinctive sound to the bells of the trains in East Berlin. You are on the east side of the wall. You are all tied up. And you can hear the sound of people talking in the room over from you. You could spend momentum to get additional information if you want to hear what they're saying. Or you can just wait here. There does appear to be a door with a light underneath it. And if you look around, you think it looks like there is another door near the side here. It's cold as well. Like this is, remember, it's the first week of December. This room does not have a lot of heat in it. Walker, you're the first to awaken.
Yeah. I'll probably try and rouse the other 2.
Okay. You're not directly next to one another, and your arms, these are kind of like the chairs that have arms on them. You're tied to the, to each of the chairs.
But I would just be like, hey, psst, there's a
Okay.
lady. Wake up. Wells, Marshall.
Yeah, both of you guys seem to wake up almost simultaneously.
I think Marshall's first reaction would be sort of jump and then realizing he's tied down and just, Wells, what the fuck did you get us into this time?
The fuck were those girls? Why would they take us to the east side of the wall?
Yeah, I think that's when he says that, you guys all hear the sound of that bell. Yeah, he's right.
I thought tying up might be in for tonight, but this weren't what I had planned.
Better not have been.
Nah. Can we try and get close to each other? To
Like
try and
scooch the chairs over kind of thing?
Yeah, so that I can use my hand to try and untie the rope on the next person's sort of chair, potentially.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let's set that difficulty at a 3. Probably coordination and athletics. Let's just see the difference in definition between agility and coordination, though. I don't know which would be appropriate for this game. Let's see here. It says you are fucked. That's weird. Why would they put that in this book? Okay, so agility is used to navigate difficult terrain, move swiftly or silently. Coordination is used to use fine motor skills, accuracy, and sense of timing. Just probably agility is a mixture of speed, balance, and muscle memory. Probably agility, actually. agility and athletics.
Okay.
Difficulty 3. So, am I getting any threat, or you take the draw on that momentum?
Yeah, I think we need to try and free ourselves up out of this situation.
Sure.
So one momentum will give me 3 dice. And I'll give you... Does that give you 1 threat, does it?
No, only if you're spending both those momentum, then I'll get threat, and you'll get 2 dice. You'll roll 4.
Well, I'll do 1 of each. So can I take 1 momentum and then give you 1 threat?
Right, but remember that when the way that it works, I'm getting threat as you buy momentum, then you're spending that momentum to get your dice. The first dice costs 1 momentum, second dice costs 2 momentum, third dice costs 3, which means you need to spend 3 momentum to get 2 dice.
Okay,
2 of those comes from the pool, 1 of them goes to my threat.
Okay, I'll just do the 1.
So the 1, okay.
Yeah. Let's see how we get on. There's...
And we can try this too, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
You could see how he does.
Yeah, so let's see how we get on.
While we work together, right?
Yeah.
What was the difficulty? Was it 3?
3.
3, yeah.
Okay, no complications though. You're just trying to move and like you just can't quite. They've done a good job of like tying legs, tying arms, kind of thing. You could spend fortune to re-roll that if you'd like.
Yeah, I suppose I could re-roll 1 dice because 2 are already successes.
Oh yeah.
No, I'll wait. I'll see that it might be possible if we're desperate.
Okay. Walker, did you want to try that as well, or something else?
Yeah. And I'll give you a threat for an extra dice.
Okay. Do you want? There's 1 point of momentum left if all you want is 1 dice, or you can take 2 dice and I'll take 2 threat, and that 1 momentum will come from the pool.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sure.
Okay. So you're gonna have 2 extra dice.
Okay. And that's athletics, right?
Yeah. Agility and athletics. Difficulty 3.
That's
You want to fortune point that?
yeah.
Okay. You already got 2 successes, so just roll 2 dice, I guess.
Okay, so do the same roll and hit 2.
You can re-roll all of them if you like to try and fish her, but because you're not rolling with a focus, your chances of a critical success are not great.
Right. 2 athletics. No. Do I just put difficulty 2 then?
You can put difficulty 1 because you only need 1 more success. Here.
Okay.
There you go. So that's actually 2 momentum.
Nice.
Okay.
We get over close to Wells.
So you managed to get yourself over to Wells where he was having difficulty doing so. Marshall, do you wish to do anything? We want to see what these guys are doing.
Seeing them sort of scooch together to get their bonds, their bindings loose, Marshall will keep an ear out in case the voices change or are approaching, and in case someone sort of comes in halfway through this rescue attempt.
So let's do this. We're going to have why don't you give us a insight and observation check, and the difficulty for this will be 0. We'll just allow you to treat any successes you get as either obtain information or just bank it as momentum.
Would my hearing focus apply?
With your hearing focus, absolutely, yeah.
So difficulty 0.
Nice. Okay, so you got 1 momentum out of this. Would you like to spend that to obtain some information?
Yes.
Okay.
If possible, I'd like to hear. Can I make out how many different voices it is? Is it like just 2 people having conversation? Is it a room full of people?
Yeah. What you can hear them, they seem to be arguing about. It's in German, but fortunately you do speak German. One of them is saying something about making use of the stone. Just use it. Use it on them now, and then we'll be done. And someone else is saying, no, I'm sure Engelmann. Someone named Herr Engelmann. Engelmann it's because of the stone he's been finding us. If we use the stone, Engelmann will come. Whoever is arguing against is clearly losing the argument. The argument in favor of just using the stone seems to be winning over the whoever is arguing. You can't. Man, do you recognize these voices? It's a man and some women talking.
Is it Lucas, Carla, Vicky, and Annalisa? if they're sort of having this argument, I will over to Walker and Wells, sort of stage whisper, hurry up, they're about to do something to us, use something on us. Doesn't make much sense, but those arguing against are losing.
Okay. Walker and Wells.
Timey Wells.
How far have we got with trying to loosen off one of our hands to untie us?
Well, you have to scooch a little closer, I think.
David's made some success, hasn't he? Or started.
Yeah, he's got you guys right next to another, so you'd have to try and untie him, but let me just check one thing.
I was thinking to introduce something with one of my fortune points.
Oh yeah, what are you thinking?
With my criminal sort of mindset, I think he'd have some sort of penknife or something tucked down.
Sure.
His
Yeah,
sock
absolutely.
that he can try and, if I spend a fortune point, to try and cut the rope.
So spend a fortune point and you'll have that on you. So you can definitely try and cut the ropes on yourself. I think.
Well, I'll try and it'd probably be easier to do Walker first.
Oh, sure, I see. Okay.
Because my hand will be tied to the arm, sort of.
I buy that. So then, let's just do this. Actually, why don't you make it? Hey, wait a second here. I'm just trying to find. I should have done this before, but I'm marking where the complications suggestions are and where I got the frickin' bookmarks in my Exarch edition. I should have done this before. Mark where the threat is and mark the other. So I wanted to do something with threat, but I want to make sure I'm not being unfair here. Oh no, it tells me this is fucking totally open season. So Wells, you know what? No, I'm not going to do this because you spent the fortune point. I was going to have the hair leg break. Is what I was going to do is have you knock on the ground as a complication. But that was too good of an idea of use of fortune, so I'm not going to do that. That's dirty pool. I got plenty of other ways I can make your life miserable. So, Wells, with shift. You know, guys, I know you're trying to get yourself out, but Marshall might be the one thinking of this. Guys, you are technically AWOL right now, and you are technically behind the Iron Curtain. On a scale of 1 to 10, where would you think your current level of in trouble would lay?
7 and 8.
Okay.
Try 11 or 12.
So Marshall, assuming you're gonna get out of here, like, man, if someone catches you here, like, how the fuck are they not gonna think you're spies? So
Yeah.
It's
with
not good.
that, Wells, what I was gonna say is, I think maybe a way of thinking about this is that each of these are truths. So Walker's tied up. know if I can make that. Yeah, here we go. There we go. Walker tied up. So it'd be basically 2 momentum you would need to get rid of a success, and then 2 momentum to get rid of a truth. So Walker tied up, Marshall tied up. And Wells tied up. This is called in person. I would be putting down, index cards with this shit on it, but this will work for it. So, Wells, you're gonna try and get Walker out, right?
Yeah, try and cut his ropes on one of his hands.
So it's probably. What do you think here? Coordination and athletics, probably, right?
Coordination athletics, okay. Guess my criminal mindset don't really come into this, does it?
Yeah, I said that. So that will drop the difficulty down to a 0.
Okay, so coordination, athletics. I'm going to roll 1 extra, so I'm going to spend 1 momentum, I think. So it's 0. 0. Okay, let's give that a go.
Okay, that's pretty great. So you got 2 successes, so 2 momentum. Walker's no longer tied up. What do you guys do next?
And I'll sort of give him the knife, or sort of hand a knife over to where he's got his free hand. Let's get out of here.
So this is where I'm going to spend 2 threat. You try and hand it to Walker, but because you can't see where he is, you let go of it too soon, falls down to the ground and clatters underneath the table behind you. And that's when you can hear someone is coming to the door. Now, the way initiative works in this game is you guys get to go. And then I get to go, unless you spend momentum or give me threat to keep initiative for 1 more round. So, you guys are up first. I can spend threat to go before you guys, but how would that be fair here? So, any one of you guys can go. I mean, I know Marshall and Wells, you have a lot to do now that you're tied up.
I mean, I think Walker's going to try and find the knife under the table.
Okay. So why don't you give us a, let's see here. That's an observation sight. Check with insight. And I think a 2 is probably appropriate for the size of the knife and for the darkness. Want to take any momentum or give me threat?
Yeah, I'll spend the momentum. Let's try and find this darn knife.
Okay. So you got 3 dice you're rolling.
And it is observation. Sorry, what did you say the difficulty was?
Difficulty is 2.
2.
It's 5, I guess. Look at that.
Yes.
And 2 momentum. Okay, so
yes.
Now let's talk about what how many actions you get in a round here. I should have loaded an action summary too, guys. I apologize for that. What you have here to find that and retrieve it is a major action. So every round you get a major action and you get a minor action. Major action is to wait. No, that's ready is actually, hold on. A skill test isn't a major action, which you did. And then draw an item within reach is a minor action. You can spend momentum to take an extra minor action. Or no, an extra major action, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's a fortune point for a major action.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
right.
Minor action is 1 momentum.
One momentum, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1
Actually, major
momentum
action
for
is-
a minor action. Minor actions are aim, movement, or prepare. Set you up to take a major action. That's usually like spell casting or something like that.
Right, and we hear someone's coming.
You hear someone's coming, so you could spend a fortune point and try and take another major action if you'd like.
What if I want to take a minor action?
One momentum, and you currently have 2.
Like that would be to move like behind the door or something like that.
Yes. Yeah, but if you want to hide, that's another major action. So you would need to spend something like a fortune point. Let's take a moment to talk about how you get fortune points back, because you probably want to know that. And you can actually get them back in game when I think it's a truth goes against you. Hold on, where is it here? Fortune. It's intended that. Oh, it's when you voluntarily fail, I believe. That's that right, guys? Anybody?
Yes.
That sounds like something I've heard before.
Yeah. Let's see. Here we go. Regaining fortune. Here we go.
Yeah, when you voluntarily fail a skill test.
Yeah, voluntarily fail or voluntarily evoke a scar. You guys don't have any scars yet. So if you wish to voluntarily fail something, you can get a fortune point back too. I'm not saying you have to do that, but like you're spending a fortune point to take an extra point. That will leave you out of them. At some point, if you wish to voluntarily fail one, you can get that fortune point back. So, what are you doing, Walker? Are you going to try and hide?
I'm going to move behind the door.
Okay.
Or, unless there's somewhere better to hide in the room, but...
You tell me what you think.
Yeah, that's probably good, yeah.
Also, don't you have some talents that apply? Talents are on page 2. I believe you have some talents that will help you with your sneaking and hiding.
It's more like in a crowd, I think.
What's that face in a crowd does that? What was the other...
The other ones have an effect if I am hidden.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Walker.
Pretty sure.
Let's see here. Yeah. Yep, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. Okay, so then. This is a contested roll. You each make a check against number difficulty of 1. It'll be you against all the folks who are in the room. Oh, we're coming
the fate. I spend my fate point to do that, right?
Yeah, I take the extra, and you'll spend 1 momentum to take a extra minor action to run over there.
Okay, and then I roll. What do I roll to hide?
It will be, I think it's agility and stealth, and you can choose to give me extra. Actually, there's going to be 1 momentum left. You spent 1 to take the extra action, right? So it'll be 1, or the extra minor action to move over your hiding spot.
I have urban stealth.
Yeah, definitely would apply here for focus.
Nice.
Okay. So if you want to take that momentum, add an extra pool in, or a dice in the pool.
Yeah, I'll spend the 1 more momentum. So
Okay.
I have 3 dice.
Yep. And I'll roll for them.
Relevant skill is stealth.
Wait,
And
I got
have
a shit ton of
focus.
threat. Why don't I spend some extra threat here?
And so the difficulty is just 1 because it's a comparison thing?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yes.
Nice.
Oh, and 3 momentum.
Okay.
Amazing.
So, here's one thing I like about this game as well. Those who act win on ties. It encourages you to take actions, which is important because I rolled 4 successes myself.
Wow.
So,
Intense.
Wells and Marshall, what you see is that, and you're down to 0 momentum now. The door opens.
Oh, we don't get that momentum?
No, because we compare the total and you sort of net out. I got 4 successes, you got 4 successes, both of us got 0, but because you a 0 net, but because you're the one who is acting, you win. You get to hide.
Oh, the bonus. I'm just looking at the bonus momentum thing. That doesn't do anything?
That's just because the difficulty was 1 and you rolled 4 successes.
Oh, I see.
I technically rolled the exact same thing as you.
Right, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, guys, Oop, wrong thing here. Walker's tied up again. Oh no! What happened? He stepped into a pile of ropes. Why would you do that? As the door opens, now truly this is going to be the most unexpected twist of all time, guys. Can you believe that? Lucas, Vicky, Carla, and Annalisa come walking through the door. Totally unforeseen. When, I ask you, when has Udo Kier ever played a villain in any film? What you find is that Lucas has in his hand what looks like a reddish ochre colored cuneiform tablet. And the three women are behind him coming in. And as he walks in, he looks at the empty chair. And he looks at the women. He's looking, or rather, he's looking around, trying to see where Walker has gone. And he says something in German that I guess Walker and Marshall understand, which is find him and kill him. And you see that the women, Vicky has a handgun in her hand, Carla has a submachine gun, and Annalisa has a knife. You can also see Evan and Mason pass them on the wall behind. There's a symbol that I forgot to load.
Ah, shit.
They are Red Army faction. Nothing is going to show those capitalist pigs something like having 3 American soldiers, but what are they doing with you? Something to consider when we take our mid-session break. So we'll be back. For those listening at home, we'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Definitely think this is my favorite version of the 2d20 rules.
Yeah, I enjoy this one. We never did get to finish the what was it called? The snow.
Oh yeah, going up there. Operation Snowstorm.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Just have to make it up that mountain.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. It's very nice out here today, and somebody did not want to come back inside.
Well, and I don't blame her. There's killers in here.
Okay, so Walker has gone. The group of RAF, who knows what they are, have gone. Marshall or Wells, would you like to take an action?
Yes. Marshall would try and slip out of his bindings.
Okay.
And he will draw upon one of his talents.
Okay.
Because he has done the reading. So I'm sure there was a training manual or some sort of books on if you ever get captured behind enemy lines, this is how, depending on how you're tied up, this is how you most easily get out of it. So he will try and recall that and slip out of his bonds.
Okay. So currently the difficulty will be a 3 because of the truth you're dealing with. But you've got to focus on it. Use academia instead of any other skill. I think so. It would be coordination and academia, I think. Am I getting any threat?
Yes, I'll take one bonus.
Okay.
Academia. Yes, come on. 2, 3.
Nice. So your first major action was to get yourself out of here. Now hold on. I think let me double check something here. I don't want to be penalizing you more than is necessary. You're in a bit of a pickle as it is. There you go. Nope. Right. Here we go. So you actually have 1 momentum. The difficulty is Oh, you're not creating a truth, you're getting rid of a truth. So never mind, ignore me. That is right. All right, so your first major action was to get yourself free. You have slipped your bonds. You have a minor action left, and you could spend a fortune point taken as a major action if you like.
Is one of the armed people close to the chair Marshall is tied up in?
You got a minor action left, so I think you could easily move up to where they are with that. So you could run up. Vicky's got a gun. Vicky's got a handgun. Carlo's got a submachine gun. Annalisa has a what do you call it? Knife. And Lucas has the stone.
Yeah, I think Marshall is definitely intrigued by the stone, given what he heard through the door, and just the fact that it's a historic-looking cuneiform, and weirdly out of place with these terrorists. But there's submachine guns also in the room, and that seems like a bigger threat, right?
Creepy stone! Creepy stone!
Yeah. So I think, having untied himself, he will try and sort of take them by surprise to an extent and just lunge at the submachine gun and try and rest. So I'll spend a fortune point for second major action.
Okay.
To wrest the submachine gun from Annalise.
To disarm someone is a 2 momentum spend. 2-point momentum spend. So, if you are grappling with her, then what that is a contested fighting. What is it? Agility and fighting, I believe. Yeah, agility plus fighting test. So it'll be opposed. Okay. So she is not great at this, but maybe I'll spend.
Neither am I. So I think I'll give you 3 threat for 2 bonus dice.
2 extra dice, you got it.
Nice.
I'm gonna bank that threat, and I'll just roll my 2 dice here for her. Let's see here. I got 2 successes.
Didn't have any.
Okay.
What's the difficulty on this? 2?
Difficulty is 1, actually. Oh,
1.
I think it's 1. Yeah, 1. Difficulty 1.
Okay.
Oh, would you like to spend a fortune point to re-roll?
Yes.
It's pretty. Although it would be kind of funny for the book learning guy to be like, "Ha!" and then fall down. All right.
Dang, no focuses. No. Come on. Ah, that's better.
Nice. All right. So I got 2, which means I got 1 net. All right. Cool. 2 successes, 3 successes. So that means you get your 1 success out of this. So you have, you've succeeded. If you want to spend 2 momentum, you're going to need to blow, I guess, give me 3 threat.
Sure, that's what it's there for.
Okay. Here we go. Wah! And you've got this submachine gun yanked out of her hand. She's calls out. Mason.
So still being tied up, I am
Good job, fellas.
Yeah. I'm gonna call on one of my talents.
Okay.
Which is hog the spotlight. So I'm trying to draw the attention of the other gun wielder. Is it Annalise? Is it, or
Vicky's
is it
got the gun. Annalise has the knife.
So I basically just want to draw their attention enough to give Dave or Private Walker a chance to get in with a knife and maybe, do something with that from behind the door. So I want to draw their attention away from the fact that he's behind the door.
Okay, so yeah, so that'll be a persuasion check.
Yeah, I haven't got any momentum.
Hold on, let's see here. Persuasion check to distract the attention of others. You may spend 1 momentum to increase the difficulty of all observation tests. I won. Okay, so I think it'd be. You'll just set the difficulty at 1.
Yep.
And then see how things go. Would you like to give me any threat?
Well, do I have to spend one anyway to give you that +1 to observation? I guess that's just to make it harder for you to spot.
Oh, no, because you could roll, like, if you get, difficulty's only 1, if you get 2 successes, you'll generate 1 momentum, and then you can
do it
spend
straight away, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I think that'll be, so one of the things with this one is because there's not a clear, like, charisma stat in it, it's sometimes tricky to figure out what, I find it's tricky to figure out what stat to use with it. What are you saying to them, or what are you doing to them to try and draw their attention?
So I'll be sort of pleading with Vicky, you know, what's going on? We're good friends. What's this about? You know, don't you remember last Tuesday? That was memorable, surely. Well, you know, and I'm just trying to sort of pull on the heartstrings, and I know it ain't gonna work, but it might just give me a few, or give Walker a few seconds.
You could spend fortune point to gain to set one of your dice to a 1. You get 2 successes automatically.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. So that spends my fortune.
Then you've got 2 dice you're rolling.
Yep. So what is it? Reason, persuasion, or what's this?
Yeah, I was actually just looking at the stats to see which one I think, or to run past you guys what we think here. That is right at the beginning. Here we go. The layout and the core rulebook, it's not wrong, it's just a little unusual. There's shit all over the place. Like, the core rules, some of them are at the beginning, and then there's a bunch of character creation stuff, and then they dip in and put descriptions of skills and attributes, and then they add in the action stuff, and it's like, where? Guys, did you throw everything on the table and decided to put it together? Okay, so reason is applying logic, intellect, and learned facts. Insight is using perception, instincts, and the ability to comprehend the world around you. Will is use your sense of self, mental strength, and sense of self-discipline. This is probably insight, I think.
Okay,
Insightful characters are observant, shrewd, street smart, and wise.
Okay, so it's 3 dice, I said. Insight, 3 dice, persuasion.
And you don't have a focus in persuasion, do you?
No, it was just that talent.
Let's see.
Should we set it at 1, did you say?
Difficulty 1, yeah.
Yep.
Look at that.
Ooh.
So you have 2 momentum. You've succeeded in getting her attention and Lucas's attention.
So can I spend that one of those momentum to use that talent to give Walker a bonus, or them a penalty on observing him?
Definitely. So that'll make their spotting him 1 more difficult.
Yeah.
And do you want to bank that other momentum, or you want to spend it on top?
Yeah, I'll put the other one in our...
Okay. That is the end of round 1. We're on to round 2. Now, I think I'm going to spend some threat to seize the initiative here. Well, you know what? I'll go 1 by 1 for each of them for now. And I will spend 2 to go with Carla. I think it's 2. Is it 2 to seize initiative? Let's see here. Obtain information, create truth. Okay. So for those listening at home, they changed just enough things between the various 2d20 games that I can't remember always what it is. It is 2 momentum. Oh, and to keep the initiative, the character who has just completed their turn may spend 2 and then hand the action to another character on their own side. So I actually can't do that. Oh, I can. No, I can. I can cheat. GM can spend 2 threat. All right. Carla is going to try and wallop you, Evan. And while doing so, she's going to try and steal that gun back. So why don't you give us this will be you rolling fighting and agility. or agility and fighting. So I need to spend 2 threat to take the initiative, and I'll spend, let's say, I'll spend 1. I'll use your tactic, guys. Only spend 1 threat. You got 1 extra dice here. Let's see
I
how
think
you
I'll
do.
use the momentum to keep a hold of the gun.
You use momentum, so you'll lose 3.
Yeah.
3 dice, okay. I got 2 successes.
This is a difficulty 1.
Difficulty 1, yeah. So she gets 1 extra success. I can't. Nah, she's just gonna hit you. So let's see here. I'm rolling 2. I think it's 2 plus her unarmed does not do a lot of damage. There you go. Unarmed strike is 2 effect dice. So let's see here. There we go. She screams. Oh, cheapers! 2 points of stress. Ah! And she's just wailing on you, Evan. Then, I've already spent threat to seize the initiative, so one of you guys gets to go next. What are you doing? Who wants to go?
Well, maybe I better spring my attack here on the last gun wielder.
Okay. And Vicky?
So, yeah, Vicky, sorry.
Yep.
Now, I have 2 talents that I think have an effect here.
Yeah.
The first one is I'm deadly against someone who is unaware. Oh, I have to spend momentum to do it, though.
Okay.
So I don't have momentum. Unless I get momentum from this roll? Is
And
that
you
how
can
that works?
spend, you can give me threat to gain momentum.
Oh. Oh, but first I should see if the attack works.
Why'd you click on the little speech things? Let's see which ones you're using.
Oh, yeah, here, I'll click on them.
Okay. Assassination. That doesn't sound very soldierly.
Oh. It's a little mean.
They spend 2 momentum to perform an assassination, gaining the intense. That means it causes a. If it ever causes a wound, it causes 2 wounds.
Oh, nice.
One last thing is intense already, and then what's the second one?
The second one,
Exploit.
exploit weakness.
Okay. Piercing 2, which means if they had any armor, it would ignore it. So that's pretty bad for them. The knife does 1 dice of damage.
Yeah.
The thumb knife. So plus what's your brawn?
Brawn is 7.
No, so no bonus dice from that.
Yeah.
But go ahead. So how many dice are you rolling here? They're unaware, so they're not going to be opposing this. It's just a difficulty.
So
1.
I roll brawn for this weapon, correct?
No. You roll agility and fighting.
Oh, okay.
And if you have hand-to-hand as a focus, you can apply that.
No, I have handguns.
No. Okay. Or I think it's called. Is it hand-to-hand?
Yeah, it's probably called.
Hand-to-hand is 1. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So are you giving me any threat to get extra dice?
I'm gonna give you 3, so I'll roll 4 dice.
Okay, you got it.
So submit relevant skill fighting. No, wait, what? Oh yeah, there it is, fighting. Focus, no. And the difficulty is just 1?
Difficulty is just 1. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Woo! Look at that. 3 successes. You got 2 momentum. All right. So why don't you roll damage? Is right now it's only 1d. Hold on.
Is it agility or is it brawn?
No. You're not rolling brawn. Brawn tells you how many extra damage. See on the bottom it says damage bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that tells you how much extra damage you do in melee. That's 0 for you because you got a 7 brawn. Right now you're rolling 1 dice to roll damage. You could spend momentum to gain extra damage dice.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so roll 3d6, please.
Okay.
Come on. That's 3 points of damage. Okay, let's see. Where's her? stats here. Oh shit! Hold on. If you were wanting to disarm her, actually, you could have spent that. Sorry, you could just roll 1d6 for damage and spend the 2 momentum to disarm her.
Oh yeah, sorry. That yeah.
I
Right.
think, yeah, that's what you were planning on doing, right?
Okay, so I'll just roll 1d6. Hold on, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the damage
1
dice.
point of. All right, so you come out of the darkness and stick this knife. She screams and drops the gun to the ground. Ah! You stabbed her with it. You still have a minor action if you like. So minor actions are things like.
Yeah, it's I can't even. You can't move or.
Can't move. Yeah, you can move with the minor action.
I'll move to over by Wells because my goal I think here is to like cut him off, cut him loose.
Okay, cut him up. We're not going to make
Cut
it.
him up. Yeah, no, cut him loose. We need
All right,
to get
Don't let him take me. Don't let him take me.
All right, so that means you've gone. So it'll go back to me unless you guys want to give me 2 threat. You want to go next, or should I go?
I don't
See
know
what
what you
that
guys
magic
say.
stone does.
Yeah. What do you guys figure?
That's pretty high, 21. You have disarmed 2 of them, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I
so-
mean, she could just bend over and try and pick up the gun, right? I don't know.
I can't do anything yet, though. That's the only thing. I guess.
Right.
Guess,
Oh, Marshall's got
Evan
a
can do-
submachine gun.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's pretty threatening.
Well, I'm
Even
thinking
in
he
his
can,
hands.
I'm hoping he can stop her from picking up the pistol. That's what I'm hoping. But
Yeah, it's probably good if Evan goes, I suppose.
Yeah,
Evan?
yeah, I think that's I'll take 2 threat. I think, but Evan will be focused on the combatants. The stone is interesting, but it's just a stone. Like what kind of could it possibly do? So I think he'll lower the gun at the 3 women, and then in German sort of say like, remember we were having a good time. Let's all be friends here. No rash. This doesn't have to end badly or. And so he won't shoot them, he'll just try to get them to, stand down and
Okay.
cease hostilities.
So let's see here.
Intimidation, sort of?
Yeah, I'm just checking here for mental attacks because that's if there is. If you can spray in this game, you can use the ammo basically to try and do suppressing fire. And you roll damage for your weapon, but it only applies as mental distress. In this game,
cool.
there's not separate things. But that's sort of, and that's a very pulpy thing to do, right? Is
Oh yeah, just spray the ceiling with one, so like...
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
and the thing
Let's all
is,
stay
they use their
friends.
cover instead of, their courage instead of their armor to resist. So. So unfortunately, not like Conan, where you've got like a ready-made list of things. If a knife to the oh no, this is like a knife to the throat. Hold on. So you make an opposed will plus resilience. If you win, you inflict the weapon's normal stress, but it's mental damage instead. So that's how. The target wins the opposed test. They suffer no ill effects and cannot be the target of your mental attacks for the rest of the scene. So let's see how scary Evan is. Who are you threatening? Is it Carla?
Well, I think if possible, all 3 of them,
So all 3 of them
which I think will probably make it more difficult.
probably would cost you 4 momentum. Because you've got secondary target cost 2.
Oh yeah,
Maybe just stop Vicky from picking the gun back up. And then we're the only ones with the gun.
maybe, but let's start with that. Let's see how it goes, yeah.
Okay.
And I'll focus on Vicky if she sort of looks like she's about to
And again, you
reclaim
can
her
make your
gun.
momentum spends afterwards, right? So,
yeah.
so this would be will plus resilience. That's what you're rolling?
I will give you 3 threat.
Your threat. Love it. I'm gonna spend that right away, or at least I'll spend the other stuff I had, so I won't make any adjustment. Let's see here. I have terrible. I got 2 successes.
That's difficulty 1.
Difficulty is 1, yes. You want to spend a fortune?
Yes, I'll spend my last fortune.
Okay. You want a complication, or you want to give me threat?
You should have only really re-rolled 3 of them, shouldn't you? But it's too late now.
Oh yeah. I think I'll take the complication. I think it will be dramatically appropriate.
Okay. What you say is like, all right, get down, and you click something, and I'm picturing like an MP, like what the MP5 style, like, you know, the thing that's on the whatever it is, the RAF symbol. You hit something, the magazine falls out of the submachine gun. She looks at you. You have a minor action still if you like. That submachine gun is not. I mean, you could ready a weapon. You could try and grab that. You could at least get the what do you call it?
Yeah, I think he'll feeling foolish for not checking. He'll sort of reach down and then snatch it up before she can.
Alrighty, so you reach down and grab your what do you got? Your clip. I get to go with someone now because you guys have gone twice. I'm gonna go with Vicky. Vicky, bleeding from the hand, is gonna reach down, grab the handgun, and is gonna try and shoot Walker. So, Walker, what you can do as a reaction, you can try and hit the deck. That throws you to the ground. So you will become prone, but it'll increase the difficulty of my attack by, I think it's 1.
Yeah, that seems pretty reasonable.
Okay.
No, by 2. I think hit the dirt.
Is it by 2?
Yeah.
Okay. Action.
It's 1 if they're within reach. Which I guess might apply here, depending on how close she is.
Yeah, see here. You can immediately move at any point to a close range and drop prone, which adds +1 to difficulty of range attacks. In addition to the normal effect of being prone, you gain +2 cover and morale resistance until the start of your turn. So I think it's only 1.
Oh, that
Yeah.
contradicts the bit on page 28, but then I think it's probably +1.
Yeah, I'm looking on 29, page 29
Oh, yeah.
of the print book. It says +1 to difficulty of ranged attacks. Let's see if it's different in the...
Oh, so I think it's the +1 on top of the... So on page 28 there's a prone box in the player's one. I think being prone gives you +1 and then hitting the dirt.
Right, but it says and drop prone, bracket, which adds +1 to the difficulty of ranged attacks, and bracket. So it's repeating, I think, what the prone is. It's not saying that it's going to give you both.
Gotcha.
Right, because it's like otherwise, when it says and drop prone, which adds +1 to the difficulty of ranged attacks in bracket, right? So that to me is referring specifically to remind you what prone does.
Yeah.
All right, so I've got a difficulty of 2, and you've got +1 cover, which means armor for you. All right, so let's see here. She gets the handgun up, and I'm going to spend 3 threat to make this a little more of a interesting shot here. That is 2 successes, no momentum, and let's see here. Handgun does 4. She didn't use her salvo, which I should have done. And that is so I do get I get 4 damage. Walker, do you have any armor?
No.
So you take 2 points of damage then. So 2 stress. So not actual damage, but she's firing away at you, and she's yelling something in German. Then one of you guys gets to go. So I guess Wells, what do you want to do?
He's going to try something desperate because obviously he's still tied up. He's going to go for the classic, just drop on the floor and try and smash the chair with his sort of brute strength and.
Seems like brawn and athletics. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, to try and break the chair and to let him out rather than untie himself, or he might take a bit of damage or something in the process, but we'll see. So he's going to give you 1 threat, so he's got 3 dice.
Okay.
So brawn, athletics, I assume. He hasn't got anything for this, has he? No.
Go.
Yay.
1 success.
I only got 1 6. I don't know what you needed actually. I said
you
it at 1.
need 2. What do you call it? 2 momentum in order to destroy it. I'll let you, if you want to. Just give me 1 threat. You'll get your extra momentum, and you can deal with the what do you call it? The tie-up.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see here, and you are now free and prone. You have a minor action left, which I think you can use to
just
stand.
scrambling to my feet, would I?
Okay, so you are up on your feet. Then it is. Ooh, I get to go. Lucas. Lucas is going to spend 6 threat to get 3 extra dice on this effect. My extra thing here. Then, as he begins chanting, Vicky says, "What, Engelman?" No, Annalisa maybe says that. He does not seem to care about that. Let's see what he does here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So he succeeds. Oof, we'll give it the vicious effect here. 6. And add 1 more extra dice in. Okay. What happens is he raises up the stone and he begins to say something, and it is most definitely not in German. Marshall, after we roll the effects, you can choose to make a free academics with occultism focus and reason roll to see if you recognize the language. Here we go. So against Mason. Mason, do you have any courage?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. 2, 3, 7. All right. That is 7 points of stress that you suffer, which means you were gaining 2. This is mental damage, so it is 2. Let's see here. What they call not wounds, injuries.
Scars.
Sorry, what is it?
I think it's called scars.
Oh, that's when the injury is removed.
Oh,
That you get scars. But let's see here.
So I'm 1 over my stress, yeah.
Yeah, well, actually, you don't get, once you exceed your stress, and then you take extra damage, you will take 1 injury.
An injury or wound or whatever.
Yeah, and then you also take another injury because it did 5. So if you can mark down 2 mental injuries.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, that's cool. So it doesn't affect your chances of success, but it increases the complication range. That's clever mechanics. Different from... I think that's different from the other 2d20 games, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't know how you mark that on. I don't know if you can mark that on the
injuries.
sheet.
I think
Yeah, there's
underneath the
injuries,
stress.
but
Are you able to distinguish between physical and mental? Sheet, let's see.
I mean, it just says injuries. It just has a box where you just write it. There's no sort of.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
I guess you could just write 2 men.
Yeah, I just meant when I rolled the dice. I don't know how it.
Oh,
all
well,
works out.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Is there
I
anything
guess
on...
it'd be. Is it 18s and 19s and 20s or something like that instead
Yeah.
of just 20s?
So
I
we'll
guess
have
you
to...
just got to look at the dice.
I wonder if there is...
Unless there's a tick box or
Yeah,
something.
there's nothing else on there. Huh. Okay. I wonder if the person's not finished coding the character sheet because there's a fair bit missing from it.
Maybe, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's better than nothing, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
What is it? Is it 19s and 20? Oh, 18, 19, and 20 now,
Now
is
it's
it?
18, 19, 20 for you, yeah.
I'll just have to look at the dice. When
Okay.
I roll.
All right, and then for, let's see here. 1, 2. Here we go. For Marshall, you have any courage?
Nope.
That is 7 stress. So you will also suffer, looks like 2 wounds. And
Yep.
Walker, do you have any courage?
I do have courage.
Yep. And you got
One
morale.
courage.
You got the because you ducked under the cover. What's your courage?
1.
All right, so you got 3. Affected 3 armor against this, which you suffer 1 stress. So what you're seeing is as he is moving this thing, there's something that is very. It's impossible for you guys to recognize it, or at least to believe what's happening. Is as he's twisting it, it seems as if the stone with each move. It's almost like it's hitting against a glass pane and things are fracturing and breaking around you, as if some kind of pain between yourself and them is shattering, or between yourself and Lucas is shattering, and almost as if whatever it is that you're seeing beyond, you cannot put into words whatever that darkness is. But it is fundamentally altering your understanding of reality. Your mind is fleeing in response to whatever cold and heartless and alien truth lies through those cracks. That was... Oh, I need to roll brain for Lucas as well, because that was a doozy of a spell. He is clearly suffering for his work as well, too. You can see there is pain going across his face, and those big wild eyes. There's red busting in as blood vessels in his eyes are breaking. Then it is Annalise's turn. I am going to make a resilience. She actually might run. So will and resilience for her. We'll just use 2. That's a complication for her, so I lose 2 threat as she screams and runs. That is the end of the turn. Top of the round. You guys get to go first. What are you doing? Who would like to go first, I should say?
Mason, do you want to free yourself fully?
Well, I've freed myself, so I'm standing up. It's what you want to do with the gun, I guess.
I think shoot Lucas in the face. It will be Evan's attempt.
I mean, I was only going to go and punch him, so you probably got a better chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got our best weapon.
But I'm really bad at using.
Yeah.
So-
oh well.
What a salvo is it basically it's a resource dice like from Conan, where so you spend an extra free dice, and I believe making a salvo expends 1 ammo. Is that right? No, hold on. So when you roll salvos, when you get to add the weapons ability with this submachine gun, it's going to do 7 stress damage, and the salvo ability is area. Holy shit. And the area weapon effect, you can hit 1 additional target within close range for each level of effect rolled. Secondary targets suffer the attack's full effects. So when you roll the hit on this, any effect you roll on the damage 5 or a 6, then you're going to be able to hit an extra target. You could fucking machine if you choose to go salvo. But you could machine gun Vicky and Carla. Annalisa is running, but Vicky, Carla, and Lucas you could hit.
Yeah, I think after that horrifying mind twisting, it's like it was pure instinct takes over. He slips the clip in and then just with Lucas as his primary target. Opens up, and I will give you 6 threat.
Nice. That's how it's done.
Is range coordination plus fighting or agility?
It is for range. Yes, coordination plus fighting. Difficulty of 1. I am not using a reaction for him because he was actually pretty badly hurt from that last spell. Let me go back to the...
No focus. And what's the difficulty?
Uno. Eins, I guess. Go. Marshall. Oh, is that your roll there? Sorry.
Yeah.
5 dice, 3. Nice. All right, so that is 2 bonus momentum. So let's bank that for now. Go ahead and roll. Do you have any bonus damage from insight?
2.
Nice. That is 9. 9. No, is that 9?
9.
9. Okay, I'm trying to remember. I'm so bad at having to count up from 1. Like, fucking child. So that's 1, 2. There's 1 effect. There's 2 effects. So you can hit both Vicky and Carla with this, doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points of damage. Let's see if that was the area was what the salvo does.
Yep.
But let's see if there's anything else. Wowzer. Okay. So yeah, they're all dead. It's just mows them all down.
That will
You saw a minor action.
I think it'll be one of those scenes where I keep shooting even after it's clear that there's just like the pain and that weird horrifying feeling, just like he'll keep on shooting for longer than he absolutely needs to. Like,
so then what Walker and Wells, what would you like to do this round?
I'm so conflicted.
I think I'd go for the gun. I'd go and pick up the handgun.
Okay.
As instincts.
Okay, so you go and get the gun.
That's the noise is gonna draw any more attention.
Okay. Lucas is still sputtering. He's dying, but he's not quite dead yet. He is.
I'm gonna go down on the ground close to him, and I'm gonna say, like, grab the stone in his hand, or sort of like, or squeeze it or whatever. Yeah. Like, what the hell is this thing? I'm gonna say to him in German.
Okay. Was ist das? Would you give us a? I think that's a will plus persuasion with intimidation focus if you got it.
Yeah. So,
you don't give me any.
Well, I'll just spend. We have 2 momentum. I'll just spend 1.
Spend 1, okay.
Okay, and then persuasion. Focus, yes. And just roll against one, just to see how many there is. Or?
Difficulty 1, yeah.
Yeah.
This guy's really can't resist at this point.
Oh,
success with 1 momentum. Oh, and a complication. You want a complication?
Yeah, let's have a complication. We're into the last 45 minutes here, 40 minutes.
So you get down and you, what is it you say to him? What is this?
Yeah, what the hell is this thing?
He coughs up blood, and clearly enough for Wells and Marshall to hear, he says, "You are keeping." And there's a look on Walker's face, Marshall and Wells, that tells you there's no way that is a lie. And he says, Angerman will come. The train station. He gestures as if he's trying to go into his jeans, but just can't do it because he's shot to death. 3 more. You have a minor action still, Walker, if you want to do something.
I'll take it out of his hand and
the stone or the
the stone.
Okay, so you got the stone. You got 1 momentum in the pool right now. Would you like to spend that to take the key as well?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. And with that, Lucas dies. And that's when you guys hear the sound of tattered fabric caught in a strong wind. And you can see, before you have a chance to react to the revelation about Walker, someone steps from within that sound. And she looks like that. He steps forward, old, dressed quite snappily. But what you cannot see in the illustration is there is the eagle of the Reich on his lapel. This man is proudly displaying a symbol of the Third Reich. In 1975, 30 years after their defeat. He steps out, and when he looks over, what undercuts the sort of frail and almost unassuming nature of this little fellow is what has transported him here. That is behind him, as if it opened a portal for him to walk through. That is the end of the round. Guys, you get to go, and I do need to spend some threat for him to show up here. You guys get to go unless I spend threat to go before you, and I am not going to do that.
Oh, by the way, you said Evan could try and figure out what the language was.
Oh, yes. Yep. Give us a reason and academia with a focus on occultism with difficulty of 2, please. I think that last momentum is gone. Nice, but it's back. Yeah. You believe it is something related to Akkadian, but even older. This is a language that was spoken, I guess, 2,800 years before the birth of Christ. So, you have Lucas dead at your feet. You have that first door in. There is a second door that seems to lead out of this room. You can assume it's probably locked. What are you guys doing?
I mean, if you guys aren't sure, I know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, you could go for it. I think Evan is just sort of like, what the...
Yeah, okay, you guys are kind of in shock, and I think Dave is gonna jump to his feet and run.
Burst through the door or what?
His two friends are holding guns, and they just heard a shocking revelation about him, and they're kind of in shock, and he's like, I got the stone, I got the key, I'm out of here.
Okay. So why don't you give us a... So there's a truth here that is locked door. Is it truth? Yeah, because the truth technically only adds 1 to the difficulty.
Oh, right, one of the doors is locked, right?
Yeah, the door at the back. But I think that the door leading out of here... You could just try and burst through it if you like. That'd be, I think
so. I mean, he's kind of panicked, honestly.
Sure.
So,
give us a brawn and athletics check. And if you want to spend any or gain any momentum, spend any momentum or gain any, give me any threat. Let me know.
I'll spend the momentum and give you a threat.
Okay. So I'll get 2 threat then.
All right, here we go. Athletics. I don't think I have any focus. No. And what's the difficulty?
Difficulty is, well, let's say it's a 2. I think to kick this thing down. It's shabbily made anyway. Oh!
Ah, dang it.
You slam into this thing. You can feel it giving, but it's not quite through.
He's embarrassed.
Then it is my turn to go unless one of you guys want to give me 2 threat.
I didn't actually hear what he said to Jeff or Walker, so I don't know what the revelation was.
Revelation? He is KGB.
Yeah, he's a dirty traitor.
So let me go. The sound of whipping fabric and whatnot comes up. That thing vanishes, leaving only the old man. Evan or Mason? Go ahead. You have unfortunately emptied the clip, Evan, so...
Yeah.
There does appear to be a sizable arsenal in that other room, but that is where that old man is, and where that thing was a moment ago.
He hasn't got any weapons, has he, this guy?
Nope. He's probably only about 5'3", too. 5'3" as well. Poorly phrased. 5'3" too. Is he a decimal? Or?
Yeah, I don't speak German, so I don't know if he'll be able to communicate with this guy. But
he is a dirty Nazi, however. That seems apparent.
Yeah. God.
And Walker has just made a run for it. So, Evan or Mason, what do you want to do?
an attempted run for it.
Yeah.
Did not go
I think
well.
if Evan would, seeing it clearly some sort of trick of the light, weird thing has just thankfully, blessedly disappeared, and the old man doesn't look particularly dangerous, which of course means he is the most dangerous thing in this room. But I think he'll sort of swivel the gun towards Walker and just go like, Walker, what the fuck? Got some explaining to do, man. But won't shoot because they realize that the clip is empty. It's just
Okay.
like, oh.
Then the old man will go, and he simply says, "Give me the stone, and I will not hurt you much." There isn't a... Well, let me do this, actually. I'm gonna use a mental attack against you. Mason, you were the one who seems to be facing him.
Mm-hmm.
Mason, you can resist this with will and resilience.
Okay.
I actually only got 2 successes out of that.
That's a will and resilience. Let's see what we get. Oh, 2.
Nice. And oh, nice. So you got a. Did you cancel out his stuff? Yeah, he is not able to inflict any further mental damage on you, but like with what you just saw a moment ago, like you're on the verge of fucking breaking down here. The way that he says that, it just, you cannot fathom what ways he might cause you agony. Wells, what are you doing? Or Mason, what are you doing?
I'm gonna take a shot in with this handgun then.
Okay.
Attack is the best line of defense. So it's coordination, fighting for handguns.
It is coordination and fighting, yes.
Yeah.
Will give me any threat?
He's pretty good at this actually. So you might just go with it.
Again, you can also do the salvo where you empty the clip.
He's got handguns as well.
Yeah, let's see what the salvo effect is for handgun. So your handgun will do, I think it's 4 points of damage, or four dice of damage normally. Gives it the vicious quality, which means on a roll of 5 or 6, it does 2 points of damage instead of a 1.
Okay. Yep. I'll do that.
Okay. So give me an extra dice.
And so is it difficulty 1? Yeah?
Difficulty 1.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, nice shot. Okay, so success. That's 2 bonus momentum. So once you roll damage first, and you'll figure out what you want to do. That is, what is your insight bonus?
1.
1. Okay, so you're going to roll 5 dice of damage, 5d6.
Yep.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 points of damage so far, and you have 2 momentum. Do you want to roll? You could give it a piercing quality. Hold on, can you do that? Let's see, this one. No, you can just add bonus damage. I keep thinking of Conan. So you can spend 1 point for each momentum that you spend. You can add an extra dice of damage. You could get confidence. Each momentum you spend gives you extra morale to try and resist mental stress damage, like fear damage.
Yeah.
You could try and knock him down, spend 2 points and knock the target prone.
How much do you need to resist the fear, or give us a bonus on resistance?
Well, that just gives you to resist damage.
Resist damage. Yeah.
Each momentum spent gives you +1 1 dice. And I forgot, it's actually for cover and for morale. You actually roll dice to see how much you resist. But
Okay.
so, what are you thinking?
Can I give us 1 for like resistance, and then put 1 in the pool?
So that'll only be for you. not for everyone.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That,
Yep.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So 6. All right. So this, there is some kind of strange, like, the first couple of bullets hit and they sort of ricochet off of almost like the wavy stuff you'd see over a scorched highway. But then some others break through that and he kind of staggers back. Then that is the end of the round, which means top of the round, you guys get to go first unless I spend. Oh, of course I'm spending threat now. Okay. So he says, pains in. Yeah, let's see here. Oof. I'm going to spend 6 threat to get plus 3 dice on this. And would you kindly give us, Mason, a agility plus fighting?
Agility plus fighting. I'll spend that momentum then, I guess.
Okay. Oh, I got a complication, so I need to spend.
Agility plus
get rid of it.
fighting.
Okay.
What is it? This is
Well, fighting plus agility against a difficulty of 1.
I guess no focuses are going to help with this, are they?
Not in this case, no.
No. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Whoa.
Nicely done. So I only get 1 net success out of this, which means, ooh, Mason, I'm very sorry for this. Let's see how much we do. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Oof. So what happens is he gestures at you. The hand that you have your gun in, you can feel the bones in your forearm, the radius and the ulna bone, are beginning to violently move in the wrong positions away. You hear a splintering and cracking as your arm shatters. Evan and Walker, you both hear this scream as his bone protrudes from his hand and he collapses down. He is disabled. So between the mental stress and the other, you suffered your 3rd injury, you are now disabled. You can't treat that stuff afterwards. And the old German guy, seeing him go down, you can see only the reflection in those spectacles at this point, and he has a vicious and unsettling grin. He is very much enjoying this. Evan or Walker, one of you gets to go. What would you like to do?
Well, having seen that, what Walker's going to do is he's going to take that stone and he's going to try and clark this guy in the forehead with it. Is this the stone you want? And sort of smack him with it.
Nice.
Are you going to like run into the room and try and hit him, or are you going to?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not throw it at him, but like run and smack him with it.
So you race past Marshall because you were trying to get out the other side. You race past
Yeah.
Marshall, come running up on this guy. looks up at you. This will be a fighting check. So for you, it's agility and fighting. For him, it's agility and fighting. He's not great at this. Would you like to give me any threat?
Yeah, let's do it.
How much am I getting? You could actually give me 5 and then roll with that momentum, then roll 5 dice on your attack if you like.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's just go insane. He's freaking out a little bit, so you know.
Difficulty 1 on this. I'm gonna go ahead and just try to find his stats. There is. Hey.
Here we go. Come on, big money.
3 successes. Okay, let me roll for him. I might as well. I did have enough dice to. I'm gonna throw caution to the wind here. I don't want to end my game with any threat left. He brings that cane of his up. But fuck, I just rolled another complication and down another 2 points. 2. Okay. So I rolled 3. You rolled 3. But because you are the actor, you win. Now, the stone will do... Let's see, what's your brawn? It's a 10, isn't it?
No, I'm only the 7.
Oh, right, you're the one with the 7, right.
Yeah, I'm not very brawny.
Okay, but the stone, let's say it does 4 points of damage, but it has a pretty interesting effect. It is vicious against this guy.
Okay, so I roll 4d6?
You're going to roll
right.
4d6.
All right, here we go.
5 and
Come
6
on.
counts 2, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 points of damage against this guy. So not quite. Oh, it's so close to doing a fucking wound on him. You race up and hit him. He staggers back, almost stunned from this. Evan, your turn. What are you doing?
Conflicted, seeing that Wells is in pain, but this guy is clearly very dangerous, and Walker, I think he'll try and pile on, so he'll use the submachine gun as a club, and as Walker sort of pushes against him, he'll just try and run in and sort of just bring the club down on this guy, and we can sort out the KGB stuff later.
Yeah. So go ahead and give us...
We got a long list of problems.
Yeah.
I can't remember if there's an outnumbered thing, but I'm going to reduce your difficulty by 1, so it'll be a 0 you're rolling against. He's rolling against a 1. And
this is agility plus fighting, right?
Yeah. So let me spend my threat first. I can't spend 6 right now, so I'll buy 2 extra dice for 3. Do you want to give me any threat?
Yes, I'll give you 2.
2 threat, okay.
Sorry, 3. So I got 2 extra. So 3 threats. I have 2 extra dice.
3 threat. You got it. So I'm only rolling. I only rolled 1 success. Come on. Look at that. 3. Holy smokes. Okay, so that is incredible. The club itself. Let's see here. I think it's. What's your brawn?
Oh, not very good.
No
I think
bonus?
7 as well.
Okay.
6.
6, even less. Okay. All right. So let's see here. Probably the same as an entrenching tool or a baton. So that's 3. Rifle butt. Here we go. 3. So it's 3d6, and you got 3 momentum. You could dump all of that in for damage if you like.
I think I will. Yeah.
Okay.
So 66.
So here we go. Come on.
That's pretty poor.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4 points of damage. Plus 4 again. This guy suffers. His head is bleeding now. Between what Wells unleashed on him and then him, that's bad. So then it is. That's the end of the round. Wells is incapacitated, screaming in pain. We're on to our next round. Boy, it'd be pretty evil if I was going to spend threat to go before. Of course I'm going to do that. So here we go. Down to 3. He screams something that I will not repeat, but it is not very nice about you, Walker. I'm going to spend that threat to get more. 0 threat, guys. I'm going to earn my bonus for the month. Let's see. But we're going to do the exact same thing that we did against Wells. So, would you give us a fighting and agility check, please?
Me, right?
You, yeah. Oh my god! Oh my god! I rolled a 20, and I rolled an 18 and a 16. I have only 1 success, which means the spell doesn't go off, and because I don't have threat to buy off, he looks at you and admits to judge something, and what he doesn't realize, the staff, you cracked it when you were hitting him with the stuff. He was trying to hold it up, so you've broken it. Walker, would you give us a 4d6 roll first? Then go ahead and roll your thing.
Okay, so 4d6 first.
Yeah. 1, 2. This thing is, some power is coming back on him, and then I need to roll drain him as well. You also need to give us a fighting plus agility against a target number 1. No focuses apply here. You want to give me any
I'll just
threat?
give you one. Yeah, I'll give you one threat one for 1 dice.
You got it.
Fighting. Yes.
Nice. And a complication. Okay. You want a complication, or do you want a give me threat?
You might as well take the threat because you need some to spend here. You're getting poor.
Okay. Here we go. I'll give it good use. So here's what happens. Is you are able to get yourself out of the way, but you stagger back. He tries to get the spell off, but the thing begins to the cracks in it begin to get wider, and you can hear that sound of whipping fabric. And something reappears. And the way his head whips around and blood running down that bald pate of his, it tells you that that was not something he intended. This thing spreads itself out, and it sounds like with a whipping of wind as it moves, and fast like a striking snake. It coils in on him, and somehow, even though he disappears, you can hear his screams coming from within. And I am going to make that terror attack against you guys. Well, those of you. Good news, Wells. You're not going to be subject to this attack.
Oh, that is good news.
All right, so this will be a, let's see here. I'm going to spend the 2 of the threat to create the truth of demoralizing death wails. As this guy is screaming like a child that's having boiling water poured over it. Would you give us each a will plus resilience test, Marshall and Walker, against a difficulty of 2? Would you like to give me any threat?
Yeah,
I'll give you 3.
Okay. So I got 4 more. Here we go.
Against 2, right?
Yeah. It's a 6. Oh, complication. Okay, so the complication. Let's see here. So first, Walker. Let's roll damage for you. Okay. You have 0 courage, right?
No, I have a courage.
Oh, do you? Yeah, 1 point. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that actually might help you. You take 2 more stress. And then Marshall, you did succeed, so you're not going to take anything. But the complication, I think the complication is that your hair turns perfectly white.
Nice.
Like 2020's Donald Sutherland white. And with that, this thing uses a minor action. It vanishes. And the 2 of you are left hearing the sound of the bells of the train. Clunk, 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 outside. What happens next, guys?
Well, actually check on Wells here.
Okay. So Wells has been disabled, but that doesn't mean that you're dead. It means, and because it was you have more mental injuries than you do physical, you don't enter the dying state. So that's good, right? I mean, from where you live, you can see the dying state. It's a very short commute. You know, you on weekends you can go drinking in the dying state, but
just over the wall.
Exactly. What you can do is, yeah. So injuries cannot be easily removed, but is there a stability thing here? Let's see. Okay, defeated. So it says when you're defeated, you become incapacitated and unable to act. A defeated character immediately falls prone and cannot take any actions unless the game master allows it. If a defeated character suffers another physical injury, they die. If a defeated character suffers another mental injury, they are driven insane or fall into a coma. Either way, they're not playable anymore. You have 1 fortune point left, right?
Yeah, I can avoid defeat, I think.
Yeah. Do you want to spend that to have yourself awake again?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll use that to come back.
Yeah, okay. So as Walker comes into the other room to check on you, he finds you awake, and last you had was a handgun in your hand. What does he find there?
Yeah, so it would be just sat up, just sort of fumbling, trying to sort of load this gun, I guess. Not knowing quite what's gone on in the last sort of 5 minutes or whatever it is.
Okay. So Walker, you come over to look at him, or you see Walker coming over towards you, and then Evan would come in afterwards.
Well, what Evan will do is, while Walker heads towards Wells to check on him, you said the other room is like an armory?
100%.
So Evan will reload his gun, and then follow Walker, but then very, very clearly, you know, do the noise, and then just say like, "You have some explaining to do, man."
So, how do we end our session, guys? Walker has a submachine gun trained on him from Marshall from behind. Wells has an arm that's been broken through some kind of fucking sorcery or something. Walker also has a key that only he knows about, and a stone of some kind. Both Evan and Wells are dealing with severe psychological trauma in addition to Wells' physical injuries. How does it end?
I think I would say something along the lines of like, well, you know, let's at least go get a drink to have this conversation. And he kind of would like reach out to like push the barrel of the gun out of his face or wherever you're holding it.
think Evan will reply with, but yeah, because we've been friends and it's clearly in state of shock, he'll lower the gun slightly and say, as long as that drink can be on the west side of the wall.
Wells?
Yeah, I mean, he's in a, I don't know, just a sense of, well, he's obviously in serious pain. He's really confused. His head's banging, spinning from the alcohol. He's in a right old state. He don't know who to shoot, who to kiss, who to hug, whatever. he's just trying to get to his feet. Yeah, let's get back across to the west side, and I don't know this, and then we'll have to sort this out. He's just holding his head with his good hand, and just stumbling out the door to try and find a way out.
So I think we end our session with the. You're taking that stone with you, I take it, Walker?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not putting it down here, I guess.
So I think we end our session with us seeing Walker stuff this. We can see the stone, and of course, it is the same stone we have now seen 3 times over the course of this year, or at least one of them. And it brings part 4 of our Year of Ill-Omens to a close. So, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for this charity one-shot, Achtung, Cthulhu, The Shade of the Wall. And before I get into the rest of the outro, a huge thank you to our stalwart players for this session too. Darren, David, and Jeffrey, thank you so much for doing such a great job of bringing this session together. This is one of those ones where I had an idea just of some things that might happen, and wanted, because of the nature of the Achtung Cthulhu mechanics, I wanted to just see how things played out. And I think you guys did a fuck of a great job of making a clear narrative out of the kind of rough events that I had set up for the session. So thank you very, very much for that, guys. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns for those listening at home on the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, we're not campaign, it's neither a campaign or anything, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. I'm certain I fucked up some rules on Achtung Cthulhu too, so you feel free to leave the things I fucked up if you like. I'll probably not, I don't really care, but you're certainly welcome to do so. There's also a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server where all of us are active, and there's a channel there dedicated to, is there a channel dedicated to 2d20 games? I can't remember. No, there is one for Star Trek things, but anyway, I don't know. There's one for assorted games, and you certainly could, and every other game we run on the channel as on a regular basis, so you're certainly welcome to join us over there and chat about Achtung Cthulhu if you like, or anything else. There's a terrific community that has built up over there, and you are more than welcome to join your fellow musers over there. There is also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is the preeminent unionized retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs in North America. Not only do they have an outstanding selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games, they have an unmatched selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs. If they do not have in stock something you're looking for, you can often put it on a want list, and then they will send you an email when it comes in, and you'll be able to pick up the game. If you make a purchase of $10 or more through their website, be sure to enter the code SUMMERMUSER, all caps, all one word, and you will save yourself 10% on your purchase. There's also a link down below to the charity that benefited from the donors who have made today's session possible. That is the SOS Children's Villages International Charity. All donations through the Heroes Save Villages campaign go directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to the channel or any other middleman, just goes to help out the kids who benefit from their services. There's over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children from around the world who benefit from their services, including ongoing relief efforts in Ukraine and the surrounding countries. There is also one of the ways that we say thank you to the donors is that if you donated $10 or more since June 1st, 2023, you will have an opportunity to vote on the remaining 2 sessions of our year-long campaign. The donors thus far have voted on the types of characters we're playing, what is it? The types of characters, the game we use, the setting, the location on the planet, and what era. We have 2 more to go. One of them is the near future. What's the other one? The medieval. I think the medieval era, isn't it? Yeah, so 2 more sessions. I'll be skipping across to fill in. Will we see what? Will they help answer the questions? I don't know. Like, have we learned more over the course of this skipping back and forth, guys, or is it you just finding that you know even less?
Yeah, I think that there's hints there. There's sort of not the full picture, but just enough to make people go insane and scream into the void.
Then which is definitely in Evan's list of to-do things for the. I mean, look at his expression. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So we got 2 more sessions for that. If you donated $10 or more, head on over to the Charity Initiatives channel of the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel, and you'll be able to cast your vote for the next session, which will be at the end of or sometime at the end of September. Voting will probably start on that about midway through August, just to get things rolling early. The last thing I will say is, once again, a huge thank you to, it's not an easy thing to jump into not only brand new characters, but in some case a brand new game, and a narrative game like this with a little bit more abstracted rules, it can be challenging as well, but I really appreciate how much you guys dove into your characters and really made for a fun session for me to run, so I do appreciate that. Thank you, Darren, David, and Jeffrey. Then we will be back with part 5 of the Year of Ill-Omens campaign in 2 months' time. But until then, we hope that we gave you a few hours, take your mind off the troubles of our world, and think about the troubles that our poor American GIs are experiencing in the shadows of 70s Berlin, both the east and western side. Until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.